Welcome back to the Starcraft Remastered launch. I'm here with Artosis and Day 9, and who the fuck is this guy? Noni's here!
It's Noni! Oh!
Wow. I sent an arbiter, it recalled me in.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
We're glad to have you down here, man. How have you been?
Good, great, man. I was watching yesterday. You guys look like you were having a great time. I was like, I got to be there.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you here. And
Yes,
He likes you. Oh, my God.
The dog is back.
He's a sick
right.
Noni fan. He watched
Yeah.
TSL 2 the whole way.
Oh, my God. Yeah, for any of you who do not know this man, Noni is – I got this covered. He is the #1 foreigner of all time. And by foreigner, I mean non-Korean, because Korea was the mecca of Brood War, and Noni was the only one who was legitimately the best outside of Korea.
We had Noni in
my
Korea
gosh.
for a while.
I appreciate
Yes. He went. There is a video online that can still be found, I believe, on YouTube, following a run through Courage where he made the finals.
That Courage is a tournament you had to play in order to get a professional
And
gamer
that is
license in Korea.
by far the best anyone ever did in
That's
Courage.
right. Let's keep praising him. Let's make this really weird. Like, Noni signed my mouse pad.
He was the most precise player. He took studying build orders to a new level by mapping out time with a clock, because we never had a timer in the game.
He's very handsome. He's got a very good smile.
His buildings were always in the same place.
He played,
I know.
Always.
Every time.
He plays a lot of games, but he's kind of athletic too.
Yeah, look.
That's
show
true,
your
he
calves.
runs.
Bring
He's a
your calves
runner.
up on the screen. Look at
Oh
them.
my God! Look at these
my God.
powerful moose legs.
Oh,
That's
God.
incredible.
Wow.
That's
And you know what? The greatest thing about him, he's a great friend.
he's a
Yes.
nice man. He's a
And
good
he
person.
is going to hold your hand through this PvP that we have coming
That's
up here.
right.
Legionnaire versus G5.
Now, before you say anything, because you really haven't got the chance to talk yet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's not actually going to talk during this whole thing. We're just going to Noni's really excited about these openers, guys. He's nodding his head. He's doing golf claps.
Oh, God.
And here, Noni would talk about the Reavers, I think, and like how he could have done
Yeah.
more damage.
Probably say he made one zealot too many at the start of the game, but I mean, it's Noni. What are you going to do, guys?
Oh, man. Dude. All right.
All right, go ahead. You can say something now.
Noni,
You have the conch.
Ready?
Go ahead.
It's like, well, there's nothing
Oh.
to say. There's like 6 probes. Like,
Well, we've got G5 spawning at 6 o'clock, and we've got Legionnaire. Is that how you say it?
Legionnaire.
Legionnaire.
I
we
heard
need
in
in
control
control back
saying-
here.
It's Lego Nanari.
Okay. Anyway, he's spawning in the other spot, so I mean, it's a visual game, so you can see for yourself.
Yeah.
You
see
should
that
have been
right
a
now.
commentator, actually. This
Yeah.
is very
Okay,
clear
so
to me right
G5
now.
had 8 probes, but if Noni was playing, he would have already had 9.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so Tyler, you're really precise with your thoughts on build orders and your build orders themselves. What do you feel like are some of the most important concepts in the opening that you really like, things you really need to worry about, stuff you want to make sure you don't mess up?
In the opening, you want to map out. Okay, that's noted. Thank you, Legionnaire. In the opening, you want to map out each threat that you can expect to encounter, like one by one, and then you want to make sure your build order has a way to handle each one of those things. So, anytime you're like working on a build order and you're trying to figure out, is this actually going to work, or is this a really cheesy build order and I'm trying to get away with something? You might not even know it until somebody does something. You're like, oh wow, I had no idea that my build can't deal with this. So then you have to adjust. So the way I did it was, in single player, I would just imagine all the threats and I would map it all out. And usually I could just bring a build like to a tournament or the ladder and it would be pretty good. Or I would just copy what a Korean did, not fully understanding it, but just going with it and using that as a starting point.
In some of the ways that people used to do timings in the days of Brood War Yor is you would do it based upon how much gas you had left in your gas geyser, because that was a consistent timer that would tick down, or how much minerals were at an expansion. So you do things like, okay, this timing push is good when, if you had a normal game, you have 1,000 minerals left on this mineral patch, then you just attack. Or you'd say things like, when my layer is halfway done, their starport should be having its dropship about halfway done. And there's a double gate opening that's coming up out of Legionnaire. We saw Draco doing this a little bit. What do you think about this opening?
So I think when you're playing with some rustier players who are not quite ready to micro perfectly while macroing perfectly, building zealots and just throwing them in their face is a really good strat. So I feel like this is a good strat for the circumstances. I'm not sure it's like optimal, among the best players, but I haven't been watching a lot of games, so I couldn't really say.
That's very Legionnaire style too. He's like a very cognitive player that tries to judge where people are at and how he can abuse them. So makes sense.
Well, Python has painfully close attack positions.
Especially these two spots. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
there.
if you're one zealot short,
Like especially cross spawns. Those are.
Oh, so this is a cool little trick. The probes can attack over the zealots just barely. So what G5 is trying to really cut corners here, and PvP a lot of times is just a matchup about cutting corners, but Legionnaire seems to be in pretty good shape here. This is going to be very tough for G5. He has to control perfectly.
Oh, that was nice. He runs
Chest
up.
bump.
Yeah. He nuzzles the zealot, which gives it a little bit of a heart palpitation. Then he stops.
So
then moves again.
you right-click one zealot on the Dragoon, and then you just have the other two zealots go ham on the probes.
Yeah, and it looks like one probe's down. He needs about 3 or 4 for it to be technically equalized, but you know, he's bought himself some good time. Just great control out of G5.
Nice micro.
Now G5 has way more gas, so he has a lot more options, and he can proceed to the next stage of the game with a lot more comfort, being able to get all the tech that he wants.
Is this too much gas? I always feel uncomfortable if my minerals and gas aren't like both very low at the same time.
It goes away pretty fast when the robo comes up. He might have a little bit extra, but yeah, I mean, once you get the robo and the start making reavers or try to get observers, this gas goes away almost immediately.
Dude, Noni, you gonna be playing Brood War?
I might hop on a little bit.
Are you coming back,
Might
Noni?
You got to do it, man. We're gonna restart the practice group. It's gonna be fun.
Uh-oh. A little 1v1 play ops.
Yeah.
Do we all have to install Ventrilo again?
Yes, of course. People are saying Discord. I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad guy.
We're
in
going
My
to be
Little
messaging
Pony.
each other on AOL Instant Messenger to get this whole thing going.
Yeah, no. Here, what's
Gotta
your
do it.
MSN?
What's your ICQ,
ICQ.
number?
Mine was very low.
Mine too. I had like a 6-digit.
Damn.
Hardcore.
That's
This guy is so old school. Wow. You're so old school.
You're so cool. I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys.
Artosis. He's our tough friend.
By the way, you see this a lot in PvP, putting the Dragoons at the bottom of the ramp. It's so hard to run down. But those are actually far back enough he wasn't able to punish it. If you have him scooted up just a little bit more, you can get off a lot of free pot shots and still run away. But G5 was doing that with the bare minimum. So in a situation like this, Noni, now that we have you captive here, you got two guys basically going towards almost the exact same place, right? They're going for probably shuttle reaver Dragoons, right?
Yeah.
When would you want to expand in a situation like this? This is kind of one of the age-old questions of PvP. Is like, do you keep powering up and wait for them to expand, or is there like a specific time where you want to try to sneak in a Nexus?
I prefer to try to expand a little bit sooner and then build the Reavers without a shuttle right away. And that way you get a Nexus sooner, and you can basically have, once they finally get on offense, you have basically the same amount of units as they do. And so as long as you can defend, as long as being in a defensive position is not a disadvantage where like they can use their Reavers really well on your clumped up units, then you're just going to get ahead that way.
Oh, Legionnaire always loves to do this. He's like, oh, this is an island here. Let's just get a probe up there.
Yeah, I almost forgot about the islands on this map in a PvP, but this is one of these funny things you can do because you can basically at least safely get the Nexus up almost always right away. And that island's actually in such an awkward location, it's kind of hard to get anything over there.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to shuttle 2 Dragoons over there, they got to go all the way around the map and everything.
Especially because it's Legionnaire.
Oh,
like,
dude,
this
he's
guy
double
just,
expanding.
He
Legionnaire's
just goes
crazy.
shuttle all the time.
Look at this guy.
This is
Okay,
cute.
This, I mean, Noni, tell me if you disagree with me, but this is sort of not supposed to work, 2 Nexuses like this, but it's possible G5.
3 Nexuses!
Oh my God! If he expands back here, then he's my hero. Come on.
Oh,
He's
no,
going to do
he's
it.
gonna
He's
pile
doing
on.
it.
No,
Look at his
come on,
minerals.
No, he's not
getting
going
up.
to. No, he's not
Yes,
going to
he
make. Come
is.
on,
Come on, do it.
No,
He's
gonna do
He's
it.
going
No,
to do it.
no,
He is going to do it.
Go back to the bottom left.
No,
I don't
no,
care
no.
about Escobar.
He's not going to do it. No, he's not going to do it.
Okay.
He's not going to do it.
He might. He might.
He's not gonna do it.
Then what is
Gotta
that
do
for?
it.
Dude, he is
I don't know
going
why.
to do it.
I don't know why he mined the
let's go
mineral
to the
though.
front.
If he wasn't going to do it, but no.
Yeah. He's going to do it eventually. Maybe not right now because he's being attacked. He would have done it if
He's
G5
going to
wasn't
cancel it
attacking.
and turn in the other Nexus. Oh my gosh.
It's one of these moments where you
This
got
is
to wonder
brilliant.
if it would have been better.
This
To
is
just like
brilliant.
wait for that to finish and then come up.
All right, well, looks like the top right expansion should be almost done right now. G5 is going to think that he's in an enormously advantageous position because he now has this ramp. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Noni, but I think this is the worst situation to be in PvP ever is when you're locked inside your own base on your ramp.
It is uncomfortable, but you can also use it to your advantage because they're so focused on holding your ramp. And
There it is, bottom left. Doesn't even matter what you have to say. Look at that.
No!
There's an expansion.
G5 is
I applaud
sending
this.
a shuttle up to that top right, though.
Why?
This is great. I love that
I
expand.
can't believe he's taking that.
You'd
bet.
never scout that.
Legionnaire
But you might
anticipated.
expand there.
He anticipated G5 finding this. That's why he's taking bottom left.
Oh, he's target. Oh, that was really nice.
Oh,
He
my
loses the
God.
shuttle. He loses the shuttle. Oh, my God.
Wow,
G5
that's
doing really nice micro.
That totally didn't go right.
That was kind of crazy. Well, he's gonna have the Reaver come down. This is harder than it looks because the Reaver tends with its AI
They don't
to
like to
want to
attack
walk.
south.
You actually have to
Yeah.
like sometimes tell it to stop.
Yeah.
Well, he's got an observer, I think, just a little bit to the left of G5's contain there.
Oh yeah.
And so what he should be doing is if he could get a shuttle out, he can start harassing the Dragoons from the left there. That's what I would do.
Or you would expand to his island.
Yeah.
thing is,
Noni would have already had an expansion and containing G5 at the bottom. Let's be perfectly honest.
I
here.
think
Whoa,
G5
Legionnaire lost it.
G5 just spent more minerals on
Oh my
scarabs
God.
than the Nexus cost.
oh, no. Is he gonna find this?
Did he really?
No.
No. Okay. I was like, they're only 15 minerals. That's like a hell of a. How much health does a Nexus have? I knew they had too much health.
Day9, we can hear you drinking that coffee.
Yeah.
It sounds very weird in our ears.
I like it.
It's really good. It's really good. I'm on my second coffee right now. I don't know about you guys, but I drink a lot of coffee. And like
Yeah?
sometimes when it's like Saturday and I don't have any work, I wake up and we're just hanging out and I feel sort of empty and sad. I'm just like, oh my gosh, do I derive my purpose in life only from doing shows and working on projects? What am I? And then I'm like, oh wait, I just didn't drink coffee. And then I have like 3 cups
Yeah,
of
then you're
coffee.
like,
and
oh,
I'm
I
like,
feel
oh, I have a caffeine
I
dependency.
actually-
It's great.
Okay, he's actually
Oh, what an error.
going to be trying to take out the shuttle. I don't know if he can get the
Oh,
Oh.
That's very good. But
He
the
needs-
Reaver's been getting a lot of pot shots off.
He
and
needs
he's
to
not
target
firing, yeah.
everything, yeah, with that Reaver. Okay, he gets
Oh.
it.
And it looks like G5.
Whoa, 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 that's
oh,
crazy.
G5 sees the
Oh, that
weakness
was.
and he
I
sprints
can't believe he went for that, but I get the idea. He saw there was enough units over there. He thought maybe the base was more exposed than it actually was.
Well, looks like he has probes being constructed at that bottom left, and Legionnaire does this in all matchups. Even in pro matches, he would just hide expansion, sneak things, do these weird, funky plays. And what's interesting about it is that it forces really precise unit allocation, where, you know, if we saw G5 fall for it, he saw that there were a lot of Dragoons up at the top base and bombed in the front of Legionnaires with only Dragoons and got an unfavorable exchange because there was a Reaver there from Legionnaire. So I think that this is a really interesting test of a certain kind of skill.
I think pretty soon, actually, Legionnaire could just run down the ramp,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? He's going to have enough. Oh, maybe.
Not,
It would-
not
it would-
quite
it would
yet,
not
but
be- yeah, you
when he
would-
brings his shuttle over, he'll be able to
Yeah.
break out. Well, I don't think he's under a rush because he has 2 bases making probes right now, so it's like to attack down now doesn't make sense. G5, like, I don't think G5 will really commit to the top right again. And then, like, the bottom left he doesn't know about, so Legionnaire's just gaining value sitting there.
Look at G5. He's like, he probably hit a base. He's like looking around the map. His base is right under his nose.
Then he scouts behind his minerals because it's Python and there's a Nexus in his main. Oh my god!
I think he's going to elevator. I think
Is he
that's a
gonna do it
shuttle
again?
flying up,
Oh,
and he's
God.
going to elevator a bunch of Dragoons in.
Again?
I don't know.
I mean,
You got to be careful. When Legionnaire gets speed shuttles, you don't want to play shuttle tag with him, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
that's
the king of it.
That was a problem.
Oh, no! Run! Oh, my God, it got away!
That's so crazy. If that was White
Don't-
Rose shuttle, it'd be dead.
don't. What are you? Don't.
He was like
don't-
thinking about going back
it's
and
dead.
getting it.
Oh my god.
Oh. Are we serious with this right now?
This is crazy.
6 HP.
So a lot of times you want to try to sneak out of a corner and drop the Reavers or ferry them down onto the low ground, but G5 is like totally on top of this. The weird thing is G5, because G5's contain has been so good, he's basically assuming that he's either even or ahead of his opponent. But what's weird about this is Legionnaire has this additional base at the bottom left, which might throw G5's tempo off on where he thinks this game is going.
Look at G5's base he's taking, though, in the top left here.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Noni?
He's trying to be Legionnaire.
He wants to be Legionnaire so bad. Legionnaire's like, you're never going to be Legionnaire, mate. Am I as good as Jeff, guys?
It's uncanny.
Awesome.
That Australian impression is uncanny, Artosis.
Yeah.
So as cool as what Legionnaire is doing is, he's not. He's still not gotten a very good like operational economy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason standard is because when you deviate from it, you can sometimes just get punished by someone who's just doing better control with more conservative placement.
Ooh. Oh! 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 Nice hit. Attack it! Don't run. Go! It's got 4 HP. All right. Well, he did still lose a lot of probes, though, in that process.
Yeah, that was rough. But he still has that bottom left.
He's got a huge bank, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, this matchup.
He needs more gates.
This is probably my worst matchup.
Thanks, Stacy.
That's what I'm here for, guys. If you have any more questions, you let me know. I'm over here on the couch.
Hey, Noni, I just want to confirm, should Legionnaire spend his money?
He probably should.
It doesn't carry over into the next game, guys.
Do you see this? This is why I love G5. No one has ever done this. We've never seen a shield battery there. In the like 50 million games on Python, that's the first time a shield battery's been there.
Shield battery.
Yeah, no, I'd say, the shield batteries are weird too because the unit that is receiving the shield healing can't attack. So it's just like, hey.
Well, he'll solve that by healing the shuttle.
Yeah, I think it's actually just there for the shuttle. Okay, he's going to try to bust down, though. No Reaver here paired with this, so the Zealots are just going to force the Dragoons away. Legionnaire has finally been unleashed on this map.
Well, he's going to... Wait, let's go to the shield battery. Go to the shield battery. Is he healing?
No, it doesn't have that much range. I think it's just out of range.
Damn.
To actually heal any Dragoons on the low ground.
See, he should have made it to the right a little bit more.
Yeah, he should have, man.
See, if I was playing this game, my shield battery would be up against the edge.
Yeah, exactly. Some pro moves.
And Legionnaire would be so confused. He's like, why do they keep sparkling? What's going on?
This is kind of a funny little skirmish over here, as they're both, because you can only fit 2 Dragoons into a shuttle. It's such a, you do so much heavy lifting whenever you're trying to get these things ferried over here.
Yeah, Dragoons and a shuttle look like you trying to
go to the
open a
battery.
water bottle
Look at that!
Oh my God! You know what? Like, if there was an observatory next to that shield battery, this would be single player.
So, what?
No, nobody. Okay, that's cool too.
God.
No, that's cool, guys. That's fine.
This is a lot of Zealots. Like, if you're G5, you are not expecting this.
G5's probably like, how does he have this much money?
Yeah, I mean, and the Dragoons are actually going to be able to walk away from this.
Here's what's going to happen is Legionnaire's going to drive him all the way back to his base, and then G5's going to say, well, I guess I got to take the island. Hilarity ensues.
And that's where he finds it.
Yeah, that's where he finds it. And then it's suddenly G5 trying to shuttle all his stuff over there.
Then he builds a shield battery in his main base to try to break it.
Yeah, and we're like, oh my God, the circle is complete. Well,
look at that supply difference, though. 83 to 134. What?
Thing is, Legionnaire had so many workers die, I'm not clear on how big his army actually is.
Yeah.
His army actually might be almost the same size as G5's.
Could be. No.
I mean, G5 is just...
No, not quite. Not quite.
G5 just played fundamentally more sound throughout this, although part of me was rooting for Legionnaire because, took the bottom left base, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at there it is.
It's a wonderful thing to watch.
Oh, he should not be scooting out like this. Oh, here we go. Oh! Shuttle interject. Okay. Legionnaire is processing this loss.
Let's see the heartbreak.
Oh, the pain.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
It's okay, Legionnaire.
Legionnaire.
Oh,
man. Oh.
Let's take a look at our winner.
I'm crazy.
Oh, man.
He's got beautiful teeth, by the way.
Yes, and beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
He's just...
That's a good beard, too. I like how it doesn't have gray like your beard.
Yeah, well, he's not as seasoned as me. I'm a little bit more presidential.
Yeah, you are,
as
actually.
a caster, yeah.
The thing that...
Well, that was the problem. He was wearing his headphones wrong.
You don't hear through your eyebrow.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The thing that's really fun to watch with weird strategies like that is it wasn't that, there was a problem with just choosing to do that. There's like 50 little things that you can do. I like what Draco said, that, Brood War is like a game of mistakes. You watch any game, and there's like 1,000 things that you see. You're like, oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I could have done that better. And the thing that's really funny is that most of the high-level strategies that exist right now were things that you were not supposed to do. Like expanding versus Zerg with no wall in, 1 Marine, command center on low ground. No, you do that because what if Zergs go for 9 pool and 12 pool? And the answer is, you just cancel it, hold it off, and expand, and you're ahead economically. Like, this is what Flash was really instrumental in showing. You just keep doing these thin stretch builds, and you can make almost anything work. You remember when he was going 2 Factory Goliath, 3 Barracks Marine versus Zerg?
Oh, God.
You remember this?
It's ringing like a small bell. I don't remember a specific game.
He was saying that I have a special strategy, and he would say percents. I think that this is 30% ready, but I'm trying it today. And then the next interview is I believe it is 60% ready. It's like he was baking a pie or some shit.
Yeah.
But he had this really wacky 1 factory, 1 barracks, Marine medic, Goliath build that he would do versus
Okay,
Zerg.
I'm starting to remember this a little bit.
Yeah, and he eventually just went back to SK Terran style, and then eventually the Bio and MX style. But
well, people start blind countering his Goliaths, man.
yeah, actually that is true. But I mean, it's just so cool how you can see the accumulation of small efficiencies can make something seemingly nutty like what Legionnaire is doing actually legitimate. I want to try to do what Legionnaire did now and just try to
I couldn't believe he made the Nexus there. I was just like...
This is why I always land an eBay at the base behind me.
Yeah, just in case.
We saw that, dude. You actually mined out the mineral where the Nexus goes so you could land an engineering bay on top of it.
Is that... yeah. Wait, no. He dropped a probe and mined that mineral. Why would I mine the mineral? You can land the eBay close to the minerals, right?
Yeah, you can land the eBay and still block the Nexus.
Yeah. Just let it. Just let this.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We got Legionnaire in the bottom left and G5 in the top right.
Legionnaire, very fitting at the bottom here, as he is from the land down under. I write my own jokes, guys.
Wow.
I write my own jokes.
Take it one step further, Nick.
I'm like Foster's Australian beer. I've actually found this hilarious thing out that if you, because Foster's is not, they don't have Foster's in Australia, or they didn't when it came out, right? But one of the easiest ways to tilt an Australian person is to be like, I really like Foster's.
Is that so?
They get super.
Yeah,
they're like, it's not even in Australia.
Yeah.
It's not even in Australia.
Pardon me.
We need in control back here with the Australian accents. We're so bad at this.
No, mine is okay.
Mine was.
I'm not going to do it again. But
Dan's, yours is just
Mine was
unreal.
good.
You
Mine was
actually
good.
morph into an Australian when you do yours, Artosis.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that pylon's in the wrong spot. I know exactly where a pylon should go on
Savage
this map.
burn. Savage.
That's not where I placed my
I love
pylon.
this. See, Noni, I'm in the same position because my hand's broken, and so I can't play. So all I can do is sit here and backseat game, and be like, I would have done that differently.
In our practice group so long ago, this used to be like a running joke because we'd watch Noni play his games, and every game in the matchup on the position on the map, every building would be exactly in the same place. So I came up with this strat that I just send out one of my first 4 SCVs and hold position it where the first pylon goes, and Noni rage quits.
Wait, I don't know what to do! Wait a minute. Which spot are you saying the pylon's in the wrong place?
This one. Well,
here.
technically both of them, but this one stands out to me more. Too close
Where's
to the
it
Nexus.
supposed to be?
I would space it out from the Nexus more like that one.
Now, is this because...
Do you always want the core there next to the gas, by the way? Does that actually make it mine a little bit more effectively? Or don't the probes bounce off the core when it's finished or something like that?
if it's one spot to the left, they'll bounce off the core, but that's the correct spot.
No, there it is.
Yeah.
I saw it bounce.
He's like, well, no, he's okay. Ready? Oh, there he is. Excuse me.
It's like every third mining.
Yeah.
Wait, no? Yeah, okay.
It's still the
Hold
right
on.
spot.
We can zoom in on there too, right?
Oh, there it is.
There he goes.
There's that little bounce.
God, that's
Right.
so nice.
But hey, as long as he's there by the time
Here-
the other
here
guy
goes.
pops out, you're fine.
This one's going to do it.
That's the spot to maximize efficiency, though.
Well, now he needs a pylon to the right there so that bounce doesn't happen. The probe just ricochets in.
When you guys got back into playing Brood War, did you do some of these moves? You're like, oh, I know how to do this to make them mine faster, and then the building finishes and the probes are popping out on the other side of the
God, it's the
assimilator, and you're like,
worst.
oh, I'll just leave now. That's when I turn off my computer and I got to tell my opponent lightning struck my house or something.
Oh my.
Now, Legionnaire on this map can't hide a base in the same way he could on on Python.
I actually do want to come back and ask Noni about these pylon placements. Is that you want the spacing to be able to run probes from Reavers, but then also get your Dragoons into the back of your base? Like, what are some of the considerations there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to leave some alleys open for your Dragoons to be able to get where they need to go.
Actually, one thing that's really important to note, go over to G5's main base, like right over his mineral patch. If you box your workers and you tell them to go mine at your natural expansion, notice this path right between the cybernetics core and the nexus. Your probes will form a line in there when they're running to the left, and if a Reaver is shooting any probe except for the very back one, the Skirra will be forced into a line behind the probes, and the Reaver shot will never explode. So like that building placement basically lets you never lose probes to Reavers if you react quickly enough.
Wow. That was actually pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Noni's just mind is blown right now.
Well, that's why Noni drops a Reaver in the front, too, so when they're running.
Yeah.
What are you going to do there, Day9? He calls it the triangle attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
guys
he
don't
calls
even
it
know.
the Bermuda Triangle because all the probes disappear.
No, I do the boxer where you drop one Reaver out of vision, and then you go around with your shuttle and you fly it in from a different angle. They retreat all the probes from the shuttle straight into the Reaver that's waiting right out of vision.
It's brilliant.
So this game looks standard, but knowing these players, it's going to get weird at some point. And once it gets weird, they need to be decisive and unpredictable. So like last game, I thought G5's contain was a liability, and I really think if Legionnaire, instead of focusing on defending his bases, just looked for a good exchange by busting that contain, Legionnaire probably would have won. And I think G5 probably could have just accepted Legionnaire's bases and taken normal expansions and been ahead in tech and economy. But he's a beast, and he was aggressive, and it worked out. But in this game, I feel like they'll each have opportunities to get easy wins if they can find the right thing to do in the heat of the moment.
I feel like, especially if they both have to just engage each other with Dragoons and Reavers, even as good as Legionnaire is, I think G5 might just be better at that overall. I played G5 a lot in PP. He's a really good Dragoon Reaver control, and he knows he's a lot more deceptive than a lot of other Protosses on where he gets the Reaver set up to hit you at a weird side.
Oh man, Nick, do you remember when you were running that one gate Zealot into immediate expand build?
Yeah, that was kind of like it was sort of like a gimmick, but the thing is that some of these builds, like you can do them, and if somebody plays really good players all the time, they don't know what to do if you do something like that. Was it the one where I make I make a Nexus or something, a gateway, and I rush with the Zealot and make a Nexus? And then
you would go like Pylon, Gate, Zealot, Nexus, Zealot, Core.
Yeah. And then you got to figure out, okay, like how are they teching hard off this? And then there's like a couple branches in there. I don't know if it's actually like viable anymore, but
I mean
that's because why I was doing that is because I didn't want to go Dragoon Reaver. I got so frustrated with having to just have my games boiled down to Dragoon Reaver fights that I started getting really weird and out there with these builds that Nick,
do you remember when it was on Shin Peaks of Baekdu where you had this cannon rush, this tasteless special?
Oh my god!
Was that against Noni or was that against G5?
It was against Noni. I did it to Noni. I did it to G5. There's this build that I had. You could
so
only
sick.
do it one time. You could only do it one time, and it was the sickest cannon rush.
Yeah. I remember that game very well.
Yeah, and then I did it to G5. Only then he started cannon rushing behind me and my minerals.
Yes,
and then,
I remember that. Oh my god!
I don't know if we'll ever have that. If we can find that replay, but maybe one of us.
No, I think it's lost to time.
Hold on.
Great angle right there from Legionnaire.
Well, it did not get as many kills as I thought, though.
But that was a great angle to sweep in at.
He's so good with speed shuttles.
But yeah, that build, I got I found out that a forge and a core put in a certain corner.
It's so hilarious
Nothing
to wall
could
with
get
the
through
core
it.
on a cannon
And then
rush.
I run into their base, and I put it on low ground in this weird corner, and then I just run in with a probe. And the cannon's already done low ground. I start making cannons there while my Zealot runs in from into his main and starts hitting stuff. No. That's why I never won WCGs. I was doing these stupid builds that were never going to work in the long run, guys. It was just...
Yep.
Dude, it is an entirely different world doing a cheesy one-time build versus like trying to win a
Yeah,
tournament.
just like, okay, we
Yeah.
got to spend our money and get good at moving across the map with Reavers and Dragoons.
Yeah, but God, is it fun when you do that super
Oh, it's so
stupid
rewarding.
cheesy thing? I remember there's a build that I actually worked really hard on to make really legit, which was a 7-pool opening on Azalea. And I was playing against you, Noni, and you're the only Protoss player in the universe that opens 2-gate.
I remember that.
And I get there, and there's just like a zealot and 2 more bets pop out, and I'm like, all right, good game.
I remember that. I remember figuring out, like, oh, I can go 2-gate on this map, and it actually is pretty solid against everything, and it actually just, like, outright wins games against some tendencies that Zergs like to do. And here we go!
Oh.
Wait, what? You get like 1 probe?
Wow!
Oh.
G5's target firing was exceptional there. Because, I mean, a lot of times you get freaked out about the shuttle, and Legionnaire protected the shuttle properly, but the target firing in G5 just picks off the Reaver, and then instant counter push. I mean, G5 is doing these moves that are like hallmark strong player things, like nice defense, instant counter push.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I feel that.
Legionnaire might just get pushed here. Wait, does he have a Reaver back at the natural?
has one.
He has 1.
He needs some pylons out there on the bridge. G5
Yeah.
actually built one. They can really mess with the attacking army.
Okay, now the
Uh-oh.
Reavers want to
No.
target the other Reavers.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I think G5 just takes
Yeah,
this
it
one, man.
seems
The
that way.
Reavers are in a really good spot here. Here come the probes. Let's see how probes fare against Scarabs, guys. Oh, okay, not so well. Oh, but you know
Legionnaire
what?
right there.
Legionnaire. Legionnaire. He's got that one Reaver stuck over there. It doesn't have any Scarabs left in it now. So he's going to try to drop the main. I actually can't believe Legionnaire held that. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. There's nowhere to... What? Did he target the gate?
Oh! Oh.
Did he target the gate?
I think
I
he did.
think he actually right-clicked on the gate accidentally.
Was this purposeful so that he didn't hit the day 9 probe hallway and not hit anything?
That's exactly what he was doing. He's going for an intimidation tactic where you get the shields a little bit lower and they go, damn, he's good.
No, to have this much.
No, it's to force them to blow up on the gateway so they don't get glitched and pop.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
but why wouldn't you just click on the probes if they're there like that?
Well,
is
well,
the
if they
are the
run
corners
through.
of the gates that sticky for the Scarabs?
Well, it's that if you hit on a probe and it is even a few pixels away from the probe that it's targeting, but it doesn't hit the probe, it will eventually just pop as a dud and deal no damage to anything. But if you right-click the gateway, it guarantees that it will connect to something, and likely the splash will pick off
That's
the probes.
interesting. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you guys were just trying to be funny, and I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm funny too. But apparently you guys are trying to be smart, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So Tasus is funny but not smart.
No,
Okay,
this
we
is just-
solved that.
By the way, man, G5 taking the third base here. I thought he was going to end that game with that push, but he's still, I think, as far as macro goes overall.
Yeah, he just keeps
really
out
good.
supplying at Legionnaire. It's-
Yeah, I mean, it's always a real treat when you're watching a good player play, where they just have all these moves that they're making that are just, compounded awesomeness. He picks off that shuttle with very good defense, immediately counter pushes, which means he could probably win, and it doesn't work out, but then he has the third base up and more gateways coming.
So this is a mistake, I think, for G5 to move out. Right now, I think he should be going for Storm and defending against drops because he's way ahead, and that's the way to get more ahead.
So you're saying when someone gets ahead, they should get more ahead?
Yeah, they should.
Not just go kill him?
No. Because some probes are about to die.
Interesting.
At the
Now, what's that
natural
drop
probes?
doing? What? Drop! Ah! There's no probes! Did that Reaver shoot a nuke?
Yeah, actually, did he?
We don't know if he got any kills. If we
I
can
don't
click on the
That's
Reaver
a
later,
lot
we can
of
find out
probes
if there's
there.
kills there.
That is quite a few
Oh,
probes.
meanwhile.
Yeah, meanwhile, G5, he's just bringing the noise at the main base.
Well, this is the problem. Is sometimes if they do Reaver drop you, you can actually just attack them because they don't have
And
the
win
same
the
number of Reavers back at home. But is he actually going to be able to bust him here? Now that Reaver's still back over there. 4 kills, by the way, so I got some probes. Oh, he didn't pick it up in time. Oh!
Wow.
Damn,
Jeez.
Legionnaire.
That Reaver.
All right, let's.
The Reavers are a lot bigger in Australia, guys. Crazy. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's painful.
Oops. That's painful too.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, though, Noni. The thing with G5 though is that he's like one of these guys that kind of attacks a lot of times when other people wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, but he's so good at controlling that it sort of works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole set of Protosses that like to attack when it's like
They
an
just
odd
go
timing.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he might just barely not have
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That's going to be a GG.
GG.
Wow.
A strong showing from Legionnaire, but G5 just playing really nicely.
Yeah. G5. Bring it over. Get that nerd.
All right, I'm out of here, guys.
All right, let's lose the tasteless.
Yeah, we're going to be one Protoss less.
But what if we need someone that's funny?
All right, but
You guys are in trouble then. All right, I'm out of here.
all right, he's leaving.
Come G5.
Someone help him remove
Come
his
hither,
headset.
you G5.
Come on, sit by us.
Good job.
Thank you.
GG.
GG.
Did you? When did you find out about the expo behind your base?
When I flew there. No, he was hiding. Well, it's kind of been a joke since we've been here that he's been hiding bases.
Yeah.
Constantly, that's sort of his thing. And so he picked Python. That was his pick for the first map. So I figured, well, he's going to be taking the island at some point, so I might as well drop Dragoon in there, and I'll sit. And if there was nothing there, I would sit there and with my shuttle, I was already outside of his ramp, so if he tried busting, I'd come in and kill the probe.
Wait, did you know about the expansion behind your base that he took?
No.
Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
asking.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about top right.
He took,
no, I had no idea.
He took the base behind your base as well as his own island
This is the
expansion.
first time I've learned
After
about
you
that.
canceled his natural, he took it. Like he had it forever, full of probes. Nothing there.
Wow. All right.
That's how he
See,
had so
that's
much
what we're
stuff.
saying. He's hiding bases all over the place.
yeah.
This is Legionnaire. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what about these big attack timings? Like, you seem to really like to attack when a lot of people like to just sit and defend. What's up with that?
Well, it's the way you
Justify yourself.
the way you put it. It just sounds like I'm bad. So I don't know. It just feels right. So I attack. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I have it. Honestly, like I'm just happy playing this game. It's so great being back. I haven't played a tournament like this in 7 years, and the graphics are so great and gameplay so great. It's great being here and seeing everyone again. Like I'm just happy playing, and whether good games or bad games, I just do my thing, and I have no justification
build
for
stuff.
it.
Do what?
Let's
Okay,
build stuff.
I'm curious. Like, because
Yeah.
for me, what I love about Brood War is just how fun it is to hit the buttons. Like, just when you have 4 control groups and you're like 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click, that just feels good on my hands.
See, my favorite thing is just the back and forth, right? So like other games can end in a moment, and Brood War, I mean, it technically can. Lynx can run by my cannons, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, there it goes. But, I mean...
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
You hear the hollow voice of Nick like, and they don't have speed on the legs.
There's 18 of them.
Yeah. The number varies between 14 and 22. He's picked each one up there.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. It's very back and forth, and even when you fall behind, there always seems to be a way to come back. Like, I felt like I was ahead in the first game against the Legionnaire. I had no idea they had an expansion back there. Very, very possible he could have came back. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I just love this game, and I'm happy being here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is like a favorite moment of yours from the Brood War of the past? Like growing up playing Brood War.
Personally?
Yeah, like a tournament you attended or a game that you watched of like a Korean pro or a time when LZ Gamer did the Ling attack and you held it off.
Well, that's always the best, yeah.
You screenshotted it and sent it up to
My
Mediafire.
My favorite moment, honestly, was not particularly a game. It was more a story about Dan. We were in we went to IEF and we were all in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
And
Intel Extreme Fasters.
I think it was International Esports Festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bunch of us foreigners all flew out there. I think Phoenix took like 2 days to get there because he missed a plane or something.
Yeah. God,
And-
that poor
Wait,
kid.
was Phoenix Peru?
Yeah.
Yeah. Took him like 2 days. But anyways, we all fly out there, and there's like 4 Koreans, right? There was like Bisu, Effort, Boxer, and
Can't
Stork.
remember the other.
Stork.
Okay.
And so like we're all stoked to be there, and they tried making us do a best of one, just single elimination. So, and Dan just gets up there like while we're like picking like who's gonna, they're like drawing cards on who's gonna. He's just like, no, we did not fly out here. We did not fly across the world for like one game and to be out. And he just like no, we're boycotting, whatever. And he like that was like my proudest moment.
And
That was like my
did Dan
favorite-
get
that's like my
disqualified?
favorite
Did he
memory.
just play no game?
No,
Change the
they like changed it.
Well, they put me
completely.
versus effort, so same thing. But yeah.
Yeah, no, they changed it completely. We had a blast. We all got to play like 5 games, round robin.
Yeah. And he beat Boxer at that tournament.
Yeah. White Rod did too.
White Rod beat Boxer on TV, and then
He-
G5
he-
played him off TV, so like no one knows. But yeah, he beat Boxer.
Yeah, you guys are all at lunch, and the only person
Was that
watching me was Idra.
2008, 9?
Yeah.
2008 or 9, yeah. it was one of those
something like
things.
that. But yeah.
9, I think it was 2009 this summer.
I remember when I played Boxer, like, because it was off stage, like, he was on the side where, like, all the people could watch. And, so all the fans are watching him. And the only person behind me is Greg, Idra. And after I beat him, I, like, turn. And you guys are all at lunch. I was expecting more people. I was kind of sad it was just Greg.
Oh, man.
But he's just like, yeah, typical Idris saying. He said something like, well, now these Korean Terrans get to see what us foreigners have to put up with all the time here.
Oh gosh, just bring this
Foreigner
up.
Protosses are way dirtier than Korean Protosses.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
a
mean,
true statement.
Like, I mean, there's this. I feel like there's this optical illusion that you'll get if you watch a lot of like top Korean pro streamers who play against each other like a lot, where they're not the dirty knife fights of the ladder of Brood Warrior, where you would be in a channel just having a fun time, and someone would be like 1v1, and you'd be like, yeah, sure, you don't know this person, you just play him, and they would just do the filthiest, cheesiest strategy possible, and you're like, for what? You're not going to earn ladder points? No one's going to... Replays don't exist yet. You just wanted to just do this vile... Like, that's where the Bulldog strategy came from.
Right.
That's what Bulldog is.
Yeah, look at that.
Such a good dog. Yeah, Baristan. You're very, very wet. I don't know how the dog's so wet, actually.
yeah.
God, good
yeah.
times, man.
I'm actually I'm happy I won. Don't get me wrong, but I told Peter, because he's known as the Wink Toss. I told him if he beat me, he came on here, he had to like look in the camera and give him a little.
Oh,
wink.
we'll have him on today.
He'll
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 have
be
a
over here with
chance.
us soon.
Good deal.
he will be winking shortly.
Yeah.
Well, great. And I mean, that means that we're now in the
Round of 4.
We're in the round of 4, where things are heating up in this tournament, where there is no money on the line, and the winner gets the famous Day 9 no prize. Let's go ahead and take a look at those brackets.
That reminds me of most of the tournaments we ever played.
Yeah.
You mean there's
Yeah.
no money on the line, but we're spending all of our time doing this? Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Gosh, I loved when you would just be in a channel and someone would be like, I'm running a 16-person 1v1 tournament on a piece of paper. Who wants to
Get
join?
all the best foreigners in that immediately.
Yeah, and it would like fill up. I mean, I did so many like for fun, just because Steven wanted to run a tournament.
Fame and
so-
pride.
And Clan
That's what
Wars.
it's
Oh,
And Nation
God, yeah.
Wars.
Nation
Dude,
Wars.
we would come up every time, man. Everyone shows up for every clan war, every
Yeah.
nation war, 0 prizes, run poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
I
of
was-
raging. It was fun.
I'm really lucky
Getting
that
DT
like,
dropped by German players just nonstop. Germany B, just like 5
God,
DT
yeah.
droppers.
No, and every time it would be like, all right, Sean, you won the first map. It's going to be loser picks the next map. And loser's like, Holla Valhalla. Just like every time. Oh, for God's sake, why is this map in the map pool?
Yeah.
That map was awful. It was an island map where the...
Kind of.
It was an island map.
It was an
You
island map.
started
Yeah,
on
yeah,
an
you
island,
did.
and the closest thing to you was a mineral-only expansion
yeah.
that you had to fly to. I'm like, Zerg. I'm like, oh, awesome. This will help me build more Zerglings on the island map.
Yeah, I did like that map, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Flip
you
my command
would.
center down.
Center, like, oh,
I have a siege tank on the high ground, nothing can hurt me. Like, yeah.
I distinctly remember a game though where it was on that map, and Dan builds a command center. He lifts it and he lands at the mineral natural, and he starts building SCVs. Then he builds 2 barracks and lifts them and lands them on the low ground, so he has defense. And I got an Overlord and dropped him to his main base where there were no units. And then, I still remember in the replay, I see your barracks lift off and move. You're like, huh?
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I don't remember lifting them up to send them in the main, but what else was I to do?
No, I and then like in the next game, you just fucking bunker rushed me, and I lost my hatch, and it turned to one of those games where like you have an expansion, you have a bunker, you have like depot wall in front of the bunker and tank siege, and I'm like a 1-base Zerg with like 4 mutalisks, like boom, like trying to pick stuff off, just desperately trying to win with no hope. This is the best.
I love bunker rush mode for Artosis because that is not the style of Artosis in my mind. So when I see him go bunker rush, I'm like, this guy's red in the face.
I'm angry at that point, man.
No,
That's
he destroyed
win.
me that game too. But it was like a 15-minute game where I was on 1 base and you just didn't attack.
When you get ahead, get more ahead, man.
When you get ahead, just curl up in your base with tanks, turrets, and never leave. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. You better do it.
I remember you
That's
played.
so me.
I remember
That's
you
what I
played.
sound like too.
Yeah, just like, hello, Tasteless. I'm very excited for the GSL today. Oh man.
Oh, I remember you played one kid in New Hampshire land that was so bad. You just built a bunker like next to his Nexus and just walked Marines all the way across the map and threw them in there with the
On
game.
Tau Cross.
Yeah.
I had 11 racks in my main, and when I scouted him, I'm like, what? And I just started a bunker.
Land.
It was touching his Nexus.
It was
and I
literally
rallied Marines
touching
out
his
and killed
Nexus.
him.
Oh my God! That was the best. Is that like I remember in WCG 2004 in San Francisco. They had like 16 qualifiers all across the United States, and if you won one, you got a ticket, you got a free trip, free airfare, nothing else. There's no prize. Like you got like a, I don't know, like some RAM or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the very first one was a Las Vegas qualifier that was announced like 48 hours before it was going to happen or something, or even like the day of it was announced. So some random, I think he was like 10, like a 10-year-old shows up and he's the only person there. so at the other 15 events, like it was all, the normal regional stuff. Like, Nick did the one in Texas, I did the one in Chicago, I think it was. And like, then when we got to those brackets, everyone was like, who's going to be up against the Las Vegas kid? Who's going to get that pairing against the Las Vegas kid? And it was you. You got matched versus the Las Vegas kid.
I remember like Bryce like going
I don't
out
quite
to
remember
like Vegas or something like back in the EG machine. He used to go out and like show up to those WCG regionals when like he knew like one other person would be there in top 2 goes, so he would just fly out and show up just so he'd qualify for the next round or US finals or something.
Yeah, dude, man, I remember
Yeah.
all
we would divvy up actually where the qualifiers were. I remember like everyone would kind of talk to each other, and it's like, okay, I'm taking the Northeast one. Okay, there's one in North California and South California, like that type of thing. It was good times.
It was good.
great, man.
It was good.
So we're getting our next match set up. Of the winners' matches, who's the next one going to be? It's G5 Nyokin versus White Raw Ret. We're doing
So
a
sick.
2v2.
Yes, I
Oh
should
my
go.
gosh. Okay, so you're.
I was like, I gotta go
Big Game
practice for
Hunters?
this.
Oh, it's on Big Game Hunters. Oh.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, by the way, if any of you are watching right now, and you,
Oh my God.
yeah, if any of you are watching right now, and you're getting excited because you see us so pumped about Starcraft Remastered, or you're watching the sick nerd plays such as hiding bases and dropping people, I want you to just hop onto StarCraft, and for your first game, don't play 1v1. Play a team game. Play a 4v4. Look up Big Game Hunters. Look up the maps that have infinite money. BGH, Big Game Hunters. Play 2v2, v2v2s. Play free-for-alls. Play
Comp stomp.
Do comp stomps.
Comp stomp, yeah.
Comp stomps,
And then
man.
turn on your allies.
Yeah.
Don't click the allied victory
Yeah,
box.
don't do Allied Victory. Just like, do stuff like
And in fact, there's so many new players right now. This is what I used to do, right? Even when I was a very good player, I go into a comp stomp, and then I get everyone confused because these kids are all new. They're like all banding together against one computer on an infinite money map, and I'd be like, guys, purple's the computer. Attack purple. And the purple guy would be like, I'm not the computer. Stop! I'm like, come on, guys, go get him, dude. You're not. You're a computer. Like, oh my god, it was.
That's crazy. This is a cool bot. Kill the computer. Like, I like that. This is how I type on a keyboard, right? It's like a turntable. Yeah, no, just play the use map settings, which are the custom games that don't even really have base building. They're just, where tower defense came from, because it's just fun to build stuff and to send an army around into battle and all that stuff. And 1v1's probably the most difficult, tense, hardcore version of that, but never get confused that the real fun in StarCraft is just hitting the buttons, man. It's just fun to build a base. It's just fun to build a strategy, make some units and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Eventually get to 1v1. 1v1 can be a little unforgiving for your first few games, but I'm really glad we're doing a 2v2 with
I don't know.
tryhards.
Yeah. Bunch of tryhard nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Before you guys played 1v1s, what did you play?
Comp-somps and
Yeah, BGH. And then I started joining the Lost Temple games, and I felt like a real pro. And then I was like, oh, I need to find the channels where the cool guys hang out. And I was like trying to figure out like Clan X17 or where are the cool guys. And then so started finding the channels. And I was like really scared, but I was like, anyone want a 1v1? And it's like nobody would 1v1 me. And then I was like, oh wait, first you have to insult someone so they have honor to defend.
Yeah.
And then you can 1v1 them. And either you embarrass yourself or you win, and you like climb up the social ladder, so to speak. And then that was the cool thing about Brood Wars. Like there was like a social networking. Yeah. Like you had to engage. Like it wasn't just the matchmaking. So it was really cool. That's how we built our community.
It's very true too. And StarCraft 1 takes so long to become good at. Like for instance, I remember when you were coming up. I remember when I started seeing the player ID Noni popping into channels, and like I remember I even played you a few times when you still weren't quite at the top level, and I'd just be like, he's a pretty good USA Protoss.
Yeah.
And eventually you became better than everyone. But it was really cool because there was no surprises on who got good, really. It's like you saw him come, you saw him grinding every day, and you saw him getting better over time.
Yeah, I think that in the Foreigner scene, the only player that I've ever seen kind of go from 0 to hero.
Cole?
Who?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cole as a player, if I had to guess one. Anyways, go ahead.
Who's Cole?
The German Zerg.
Oh, K-O-L-L-L. Yeah, who's like, I've been playing for 6 months, and I'm B+, and that means you're
good
really
reference.
Yeah, I was just thinking C-O-L-E, like there's some guy like, Cole Johnson. And what about the good old Cole Johnson, the tale of Cole?
No, who is it? Who's it, though?
Blackman PG from Poland.
Oh, yeah.
He went 0 to hero. He went from, no one had ever heard of him, goes to WCG, dominates his group, gets 3rd place the entire event.
He was like a recluse, though. He didn't do the community stuff at all, almost.
Yeah.
Every time he played, it was like a Smurf, and they were like, I think that's Blackman, and he would never even confirm it himself.
Yeah, he was a very different type of guy.
He was one of those guys where if you like Googled pictures of him, there's like one event where I think it was WCG, where he did show up, and people were like, oh, you're him, and never again.
Very few pictures of people back then.
It was a small community, though. The Foreigner scene in Brood War was always very small, of the people that like put themselves out there and really competed, so everyone knew who everybody was.
Yeah, it's just a few hundred grinders.
I liked it because I could, at like 13 years old, I was relatively familiar with like the Ukraine and different Belarus.
Yeah.
I knew flags. I knew, generally speaking, because we would talk to them, we'd hang out. So at a very young age, I was experiencing world travel and in a very different way, obviously.
Yeah, it was interesting that at every single ladder, it was always your nation's flag and your name, and
it was important to people.
Yeah,
because it was a community within a community. Everyone knew the German scene was always my favorite for the reason that their national team, you could challenge anyone on the team, and if you beat them, you took their spot, and that was how their team was made. And then Mondragon like rose up as the young 13-year-old in that team that like could not be beaten until he was captain. And I was like, that sounds like a barbaric horde, but in a really cool way.
that's like Shadow of Mordor, the team structure.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing that was so cool about the ladders too, where you could click on the flag and then it would show you the ladder of just those players. It'd be like, here's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 German player, and you just sort of go, oh well, I want to be the best American, right? I might not be the best player, but I want to be the number 1 spot on that American ladder list.
It mattered, and you could tell too back then as well. Like
Now you have to do a little bit of work to figure out who's the best. And I mean, you know, there's some countries where it's super obvious, like Neeb for America and stuff like that. But back then it was a little bit more. You know, you had those rankings for that ladder, but then people were like, yeah, but and Dan would be quick to remind you, I haven't seen you at an event. I haven't seen you at a LAN, the 2 that we have a year. So until you do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff is talking about himself. Took a long time to show up to a LAN. It was cool though when you did, and you swept through and did fine. But LAN is where it counts, man. That's.
I was thinking when Sean was talking about it, actually 2005 or I think it was 2005. I won my qualifier for
and then you
WCG
didn't come
because they didn't give you a ticket. I was a kid in high school with no money, and they're like, "Yeah, get yourself to Los Angeles from Seattle." And I was
got to pawn your mom's TV. You didn't care enough.
Fair enough. I mean, I didn't. I beat LJT, man.
Dude, LJT never showed up to anything. That was the only event, and then neither of you came.
Yep.
Which means you're hackers, by the way. If you don't show up, you're a hacker.
What does he look like?
He's a Chinese man, about this big.
He was really old too. He was like already 30 years old back then.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked incredible. So
yeah,
he's good.
Gosh, no, LJT was great. LJT was.
It was
I met
the
Magoo
map
in
pool.
real
Then
life.
you remember the map pool because there was the one where it was your main, down a ramp, all the way over here was your natural.
Jungle Story.
Yeah, that was tough.
Well, it didn't even have a ramp. Yeah, there was Jungle Story and wasn't Gaia. There's another map.
Oh,
was
at
just
that time?
garbage. Yeah, it was like Gorky
God.
Island.
Oh, Gorky was amazing.
Oh, yes.
I
Gorky
played Terran.
Park was just.
All right.
I Goliath dropped because
Yeah.
you could not play Zerg.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's the Infinite Money map. Now, if you look at the top right, that is the team setup, top versus bottom. It's Ret White Ra versus G5 Nyokin. It's the media kids versus the non-media kids. I mean, we're all 30 here, but, you know, they're kids.
As always.
Now, this is Big Game Hunters. You start with 2 gas geysers. You have a million mineral patches. Oh, we're gonna get Legionnaire.
A personnel swap.
Yes, Peter Nate.
I am
Welcome to
here.
the sofas.
Yep, I'm on the loser's couch now.
That's what hosts aspire to be, is to be so bad they don't even let us play, and we just get to sit here the entire time.
You lost good though. It was a good series.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I played well. Like the Python game, I was quite happy with because he was falling into my trap of the hidden base down the bottom left. So my entire plan was to cancel my natural, hide the base, make him think he was ahead,
More ahead than he was. Yeah.
and then just fight over the top right island, which he would be going for.
Yeah.
But then I lost my shuttle. I was doing a white Ra. You know, I just kept suiciding them, and it's the little mechanics like that. It's a difference between theory and execution, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's fun that it takes a while to get it back, though, because I remember watching all of our games back in the day, and those shuttles didn't die like that. They felt like they were pretty invincible.
Yeah.
But in this tournament, I'm like, shuttles suck. They hover there for 1 second, and the 8 Dragoons fire, and it's just gone.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I rewatched an old replay of myself, and I'm like, well, never going to be this good. That's it. I peaked. It's all downhill from here. I was really amazing that I was able to do this. Go me. High five, Sean. I don't know, maybe what I'll do is I'll just give up all other obligations in life.
Yeah.
And just grind Brood War 80 hours a week.
Well, that's where the money's at, too, you know?
Now, how are these players going to play out their Big Game Hunters matches? Like, we got G5, who's isolated over here. We have Nyokin, who's isolated down at the bottom.
Well, I feel bad for the Zerg.
Did we make this a 10-minute no rush? Was that
I
one of
don't
the rules
think so.
they applied?
No, it's
Oh,
No, they're Russian.
that's
good old
disgraceful.
no
Try
Russian
hards here.
Do they not know how to play Big Game Hunters?
You play Protoss, maybe Theron.
No, you got to cannon up and go carriers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Dude, my favorite is going Mass Scout. You should expand and go 6 Stargate Scout.
You would have loved. I played a guy in ladder yesterday. He like we had this huge epic game base swap. He takes the other main in the natural. I'm like, what's going on in there? So Stargates and Corsairs block my overlords. And then like 10 minutes later, 12 scouts come out of there, and I'm like, oh my god. And they had their moment. They picked off a base, then they got plagued and killed by like 5 hydras, and it's like, all right. That's why people don't do that, man.
All right, beautiful defense by Rhett.
The guy was listening to the stream yesterday.
Yeah.
He heard about the stove. He was like, well, if one scout's good, imagine what 10 of them are.
Multiples.
Yeah.
What if I caught him going, what is the big fat Zerg flyer? Gosh.
Devourer?
Devour. That's right.
Yeah, dude.
I second guess myself.
I practiced so much Island Zerg
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this has no relevancy to what we're seeing right now, but the way a Devourer works is that it has a very low attack speed. It does a pretty big chunk of damage up front, but overall damage output is very, very low. But the unit it hits and all the nearby units get what are called
spores, I think.
Like acid spores, I think, or corrosive spores.
Something like that.
And it means that any time something deals damage to it, it's base damage plus however many spores there are.
Sean, I did not know that. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I did not know that. No, I'm actually being serious. Like, I've asked people, I had no idea. I know that it reveals you as well if you're cloaked. God,
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It reveals if you're cloaked, but like if you have 5 acid spores, you take 5 extra damage every time you're hit. And
Did you all know that, Tyler? Is that what you're
I
laughing?
knew that.
You knew
Yeah,
that?
and
I knew
so
Bryce, you knew that? Wow.
My games went beyond 2 lurkers on a ramp, so I encountered these
Wow,
things.
you just got here today and you picked
Yikes.
right up on the meme. That's excellent.
Tyler, Jiminy Christmas.
But this means that you only want like 5 or 6 Devourers.
Yeah.
And then you want all the rest Mutalisks. And most top Zergs just didn't do this. They would morph everything into Devourers. And yeah, it was just really awesome to play against some people who just didn't know those mechanics. So you just like ensnare, devour, and just kill with tons of Mutalisks and just
That was
dominate.
the funny combos. If you could land all the spells on the one thing, you're like, wow, this is mega overkill, but it feels good.
Yeah, Plague, Acid, Spore, and Ensnare. Okay, so anyways, in this game, players are building up, but it looks like no one is actually preparing to do any big significant rush. I mean, there's going to be this kind of pressure, but we see G5 has sort of turtled himself up. He's got to get some Dragoons out. Got to keep making probes until his economy kicks into gear, and Zergs have the hardest time on big game hunters because you need to build units or drones. So trying to find that right balance so that you can get to like 7 hatcheries is...
But also the late game, like their options later is like, here's the Guardians. Like, well, I want carrier, and it just it doesn't seem as impactful. So
Yeah, Zerg sucks on infinite money maps, frankly.
It does.
But that's what makes it fun, man. Because, I mean, look at this map. This map is a mess. There's no symmetry. Like, some bases share a natural expansion. Some have tiny mains. Like, the top left area is, like, super tiny. It's, like, very hard to fit all your supply depots there. If you're Terran, you have to build command centers and lift them off to the corner to get enough supply. And, I mean, this is just what makes big game hunters fun. It's just crazy and
I can't believe we wasted our
unfair.
time, though, because, like, you'd play, like, let's grab 4 or 5 of us and play a free-for-all. And then there's the one guy top left and everyone else is bottom right. They're having like a war for 25 minutes. The guy top left's on 4 bases, and
I
just
know,
like,
that's what makes
hey,
it so
you guys
fun.
did good. And shows up with just maxed out carriers. I win now.
God. Those are my favorite games ever, though. That, like, guys, there's someone at the far corner, and all the 3 know how this game pans out, so they all just bum rush the guy in the top left, and he's like, what is going on?
What did I do?
Why is there so much hatred for the top left peoples? Can I get a water, by the way? Have I earned the right to water?
Barrison will bring it for you.
What a good boy. He's such a good boy. Oh, thank you, Bryce.
This is already a bit more interesting than the last game. The last game that we did on the that was just hunters, but still, it was like 2 people got mauled from the very beginning. So then it was just over. 2 on the same team, by the way.
I'm surprised this is going so evenly, because red and brown are a little bit separated, so they should have been cut off a little bit more, and one of them probably should have died.
Yeah, right now it's the media boys versus the non-media boys. So it's Ret White Ra versus G5 Nyoken.
You know why this game's going longer? Is because Artosis is not in it, destroying everybody. That was incredible.
God, Artosis truly is just the pinnacle of Terran capability.
Do you know he casts as well? Yeah.
Oh,
Multi-talented.
Tank's getting picked off. Ret showcasing Dem Mutas. I love how long range tanks are in this game. They shoot like a screen and a quarter.
Freaking arc light shock cannon. They weren't messing around when they made that.
Oh, isolated Marine. Oh, but here comes G5, who's bombing in on Ret. And White Ra's going to try to defend his friend.
It is tough positioning, ever you pointed that out, though. If it's brown and red like that, that is rough.
But I think, you know, brown and red are both doing the smart things, which is to play for, like, big, slower, sturdier compositions.
Yep.
Have good defense, get the tanks up.
Nice little warm-up, too, because after this we have G5 versus Nyoken, and that was at least one WCG USA Finals, by the way. I know that G5... Didn't G5 win his championship over Nyoken? I believe he did.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't Nyoken win one, too, though, Dan? He never did?
I don't think Naikin's ever won. He is the fantasy of the USA scene.
Oh. Came close.
White is just giving up his base, just trying to harass Terran while he's dying.
Typically, Zergs just slowly fall behind unless they get a lot of momentum, but damn. Brett's doing pretty good Mutalisk control. He's picked off almost all the medics.
He's patriotic, though. He's helping out his teammate.
Yeah. Team player, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, stuff that guy. I'm just saving myself.
He can lend his overlords as detection, though, by the way. It's a nice little element that he's helping.
Tanks are insanely good on this map because there's like so many narrow corridors and so many weird places where you can just exploit siege a tank up. It can hit 4 different paths.
Well, there's also expansions you can take that like reaches the mineral line of your opponent as well.
Nyokin's kind of dead. Like, the Mutas can just sit on top of the racks now. I mean, he can't attack the mineral line because of the turrets, but how is he ever going to get a critical mass of Marines at this point?
It's going to be tough.
There's no help coming from G5.
He just doesn't care, does he?
He's going 50 gate Protoss. He's going man toss. What's going on at White Rod's base? We haven't taken a look there. I think White Rod has a ton of gates. He's just getting all his tech up. He's got an expansion up. Oh, he's getting a Dark Archon.
Nice.
Yes. It's the Dark Archon. Oh no. Oh, this is always such bad news. Oh no. The main.
You should just scan the Mutas and then leave the game. That's what I would do.
Has anyone explained the Dark Archon to the noobs out there?
The Dark Archon is
we need a tasteless for that, I think.
It is a powerful psionic support unit on Protoss. It has
It is completely useless.
it has 3 abilities.
Until mega late game and you realize you
Yeah.
have 9 of them and your opponent's like, oh no.
Yeah, so they have feedback, which is mana burn. Right, you deal damage to a unit proportional to how much mana it has, and it consumes all the mana. There's no limit to it.
So great burst Templars, great burst Defilers, that sort of stuff.
It has Maelstrom, which is an area of effect stasis for biological units only, aka all Zergs.
But only for a short time. Pretty good burst Ultras.
And they can be
that's about it.
damaged while it happens.
Short for StarCraft. Like, you play a MOBA, you're like, oh my god, a 2.5 second stun. I mean, I think it's 10 seconds. It's a 10-second area stun. 8 seconds, something like that. And then the last one is Mind Control, which is you spend 150 mana and all of your shields, and you gain control of a unit permanently.
And it's range. It's like got decent range. It's instantaneous.
Yeah. So in super long Protoss versus Protosses, that's the most frequent place you'll see them to feed back enemy Templar and Mind Control enemy carriers and Arbiters.
It's one of those things where that's where I look too, where there are just incredible imbalances in Brood War, but it was like
Everyone had
the
their own.
flow of the game and everything. There's a lot of imbalances, and maps were generally really good that made it what it was.
Yeah.
But just on paper, like 10 Dark Archons, because they're tanky too. It's not like you can pick them off before they do it. They're gonna mind control something.
Yeah, I mean...
So if you have battle cruisers, there's 10 battle
Oh,
cruisers.
the flanks! Oh my god! Oh, Storms on the Dragoons. Oh my god, Ling Storm. Zealot Muta.
Those are
many
some Dragoon
combinations. Yeah.
I do like how Nyokin was dead. He didn't leave the game, and he's still helping out his
the
ally
scan,
with the scan, yeah.
I'll do what I can, friend.
Oh man. This is why you go Mass Scout, man. You can never just deal with all that Mutalisk garbage. Go to Mass Scout, man.
What used to happen too back in the day, if you did play BGH, is like one of the players it was like 3v3. One of them would be like, "All right, you go Corsairs to shut down the Zerg," and you'd go 3 Stargate Corsair or whatever, and just be like, "You're never gonna have Overlords. If you go Mutas, that's a mistake. I'll get a fleet beacon and they'll shut down your stack defenses for the extra hilarity."
You have 15 drones. You have to morph 1 into an Evo chamber and 11 into Spore colonies.
Oh, it's gonna...
He's trying to steal an SCV so he can build Terran units.
All right, let's see if he can pull off the clutch mind control.
Get it?
He could just take his teammate's drone though.
But that's not as punishing. I mean, you don't want to have more Zergs in this game. Zerg's just the worst.
I think at this point it's not to win, it's to make fun of your opponent.
Yeah. Oh.
And actually on BGH, it doubles your supply cap, by the way.
Oh.
which is kind of interesting. Here we go.
All right. Oh, he gets it. All right, mind controls the Dragoon. That's so not good. That's a terrible play. That's extremely inefficient and wasteful. But G5's going to continue to grind and try. His pride is on the line. Uh-oh.
Infested.
Yeah,
command center.
go there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's an infested command center. Excellent. You're playing BGH properly.
That looks so cool.
That is a Zerg building now.
Yeah, if an enemy command center gets below half health, a queen can touch it and infest the command center, and then you can build a unit called the Infested Terran.
Oh, there we
Which
go.
deals, let's see
There
how
we
much
go.
damage it deals. 500. It one-shot supply depots.
They weren't messing around with that. It's like, you know what? In StarCraft 2, let's dial it back. Let's just give him a Gauss rifle.
You understand? It's just like, it'll cost 25 energy, it'll shoot, it can't move.
Pew, 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 pew.
And this, they were like, I don't know, let's just build it and it deals 500 damage? 500? 500? Seemed good. Everyone's like, yeah.
What's the
500.
next most damage? Is it the arc light cannon, or no? It's a nuke, I guess.
It's a Yamato at 250.
Well, what's a nuke do?
I think it's like area of 600 damage or something, but it's explosive.
Dispersed through all of it?
No, it's 600 to every single unit in
Oh,
the
wow.
blast, but I think it does like half damage to large units or something
Okay.
weird, like some units can withstand it.
Because that makes sense. An Ultra's just like a stern wind.
Of
It's like,
course.
oh wow, what was that? Someone nuked here.
I'm telling you, man, we need to make the
How's this
RTS
game
where
still going?
every unit idea makes it in.
Yeah.
It's a unit called the anti-nuker. If you nuke it, it heals. It's healed with nuclear energy.
You can't transfer money to allies in this game, can you?
Nope.
No.
So if you're dying, like Neokin, make sure you save up 400.
Yeah, Nyokin is slowly losing money. I think he's just going to be trying to repair stuff. So G5 is going to basically go for... God, that must be so satisfying if you're Red to actually just get infested Terrans for once.
There it is. Is that a bunch of Dark Archons?
Master.
DA.
Dark Archon. For any of you, oh my gosh, there's actually so many Dark Archons.
If you would have told some people a few years ago that almost 30,000 people would be watching a BGH 2v2, they would have laughed.
Actually, let's see how many viewers we got right now. I'm opening up the stream on the phone.
They've all left. We're down under 100.
Oh, look at that. It's about 25,000. Well, guys, the infamous Pride-only tournament will be continuing shortly here, so let everyone
Basically,
know.
as soon as G5 gets out of this game.
He did promise to do one last attack, but he has not mobilized yet.
Well, so far it's not a broken promise. He's like, it will come. I didn't say when. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Surprise
so
Corsairs!
This is the big moment. See, G5's actually building good units. He's trying to do like a Zealot Dragoon core with a bunch of Corsairs to rip up all the flyers. All right, he's parasited. Uh-oh.
The most underused spell across
Nyokin
all,
is gonna. He's
Why?
Nyokin
all
lift
StarCraft.
off.
Restoration. You guys remember Restoration?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, removes negative debuffs, of which there really are not any negative debuffs in the game.
Parasite, man.
Blinding flare.
Pull that Parasite right out. Blinding Flare was up there too, you're right.
Yeah.
Whenever I got hit by that, it took me like several moments to realize. I'd like look at my guy and be like, this is bugged. I'd be like, oh, wait a second.
Oh,
He
there
had to
it is.
upgrade it, for Pete's sake.
There's
That's
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Look at how long that's locked down MOBA players. Look at that. There's a stun right there.
So the Corsairs won the Muta battle. White Rod doesn't have any fighting units.
He does.
He could mind control half his army.
Oh, Rhett's down to 30 supply. You know G5 is trying as hard as he can right now. You can't lose. Uh-oh.
Corsair DT. Their only detection was Overlords.
Yeah, that's what the DTs are.
Oh my god, look, Nyokin has walled off reinforcements on the left. Look at that.
Red's at 30 supply.
I like how Nyokin's talking through his contribution too. He's like, guys,
Yeah.
PS.
I walled in here. That's what I can do.
For someone who died half an hour ago, he's doing a pretty good job.
You should be able,
Yeah.
if you infest a CC that's attached to a comsat, you should get an infested comsat. It doesn't scan things, but it like says bad stuff about it.
It just drops creep somewhere on
Yeah.
the map.
You can't build there now. So Rhett's dead.
Rhett actually died. Now Whiterun needs to stop goofing off. Pull it together, man. See, this is why big game hunters games are the best. Is you think, let me try to win with Dark Archons, and then you start to lose with Dark Archons, and then you're like, oh no, how do I get out of this one? And that's fun.
He has no detection, though. He needs to Maelstrom the TTs. Does that reveal them? I don't.
Yeah. Maelstroming an invisible unit does reveal it.
Okay.
Yeah, most of StarCraft's pretty straightforward stuff, just shoot stuff, but it has its own little quirky rules. Sound like a card game player. Well, Maelstrom goes onto the stack.
Nao can rock in that 4 supply, by the way. I wish we could see what the 4 supply is.
Yeah, like
4 SCVs at the top right.
there they are. We will return. We will come again. So right now, it's actually White Raw versus G5.
There's a little bit of red there. Right?
God, look at his layers squirting. Someone get this guy a Band-Aid. Look at that. Look at that effect. That is way more gruesome than the original layer, man. Oh my gosh.
The larva's just getting a bath.
Yeah, it's actually super moist there, man. Oh, another expansion coming out for G5, and you might say on an infinite money map, why would one ever expand? Well, you want the rate of income sufficient so that you can have like 20 gateways churning. Yeah, Whiteraw's not messing around. He's going DT, Zealot, Dragoon, trying to pick off everything. And Corsairs to kill the enemy observers? I mean, you've said that like 4 times now and it only registered now.
Synergy, man.
Synergy.
And there's that missile turret, by the way, from Neokin.
Oh my god.
Is that infested Terran?
Yeah.
Yeah, only one popped.
Brood War Banelings.
Yeah, I mean, if they die, they don't deal any damage, so they actually do have to connect.
You can burrow him too, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best turns do have burrow.
There's even a there's a mission in the campaign where they pop up and run at you. It was frustrating because that you never knew how bad pathing in Brood War was until you played that mission. Oh, there he is. I'll shoot him. What are you doing? You're like, no. All right, restart. Because I'm a 12-year-old kid and time in the day doesn't matter.
I save every 2 minutes.
Just try it again. I want that Cinemagra.
So White Raw's at 201 supply.
201 at 217. He's mind-controlled a Zerg unit, and he's rebuilding. And right now he's trying to defend for Rhett. And I mean, it's looking really good for White Raw. It's looking really good for Team Non-Media right now.
From the shadows we strike. Damn it, they can see us.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm excited because right now there's observers being picked off. So what's going to happen is White Raw's going to upgrade observer speed and make like 4 robo observer.
Yeah, that's so fun about big game hunters. You just get these like endless huge battles. I mean, because like if this were a proper game, you'd be talking about efficiency and keeping units alive and stuff. I mean, right now it is about amount of production structure momentum that you can gain. And there it is. It's the GG. He can't break through.
Well
White Raw and Rhett win! GG!
Good job, Europeans. Who won the,
Lucky spots.
Well, no, I guess Americans won the other one. Or who was on Dan's team? It was Dan.
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it was Team Artosis
He carried him.
who won Q2 Q'd his
Q
way to
attack,
victory.
yeah. Q attack on
Yeah,
that.
he had Rhett changed Artosis' hotkeys so that Q was attack, but medics still healed on A, so he'd have to go like 1 Q2 Q3A. I don't even know what that is.
But he
Yeah.
underestimated Dan's like stubbornness. Dan was just like, no, I'm doing it. And then he did it. He made it work.
Very well. So now we're actually going to be doing one of the winners bracket proper matches, which I believe will be Nyokin G5. They lost in
What?
the 2v2.
Oh, yeah.
And now they will face to determine the true last place. Actually, they'll be playing for a chance to get into the grand final.
Yeah, the winner that's in a pretty good spot.
And this is a best of 5 now.
Are they doing losers brackets again?
No, it's just
Nope.
this
So
is
it's
it.
just
It's a best of 5,
you
a
lose
best
this,
of
you're
5,
out.
and then a best of 5.
No third place match either.
No.
Now,
Because there's no money. Who cares?
yeah, I know. And gosh,
What's your predictions? Who do you think?
You know, I just want to state for the record, if you have a troop of friends at LAN that you play with or on a Discord, you guys got to do in-house tournaments.
I knew
In-house
he
tournaments are the
wasn't
most
going to
fun.
answer my question. I knew that was coming.
I mean,
he was
words
like, I
came
just
out
have
of
to
your
say,
mouth, and they just
forget what he
didn't
said.
register in the slightest.
I'm going to do it back to you. You're going to
know-
be like, guys, I got a question for you. I'm like, does anybody else like pizza? Pizza, anybody?
As long as it doesn't have pineapple on it. Like, why ruin a perfectly good pizza by putting some pineapple on it?
I like pineapple on it. I don't mind it.
Well, you guys should 1v1 and figure out who's right.
That's a good point, yeah.
In pizza eating, I'd win that one for sure.
No, in Brood War, you have to solve everything with a 1v1 in Brood War.
Street basketball.
You think pineapple tastes good on pizza? Let's go. 1v1 Python, 4-pool. I 4-pool and win, and I'm like, that's right, pineapple lover. Oh, man. Okay, so Jeff, what was your question? You asked me something.
I was trying to talk about the brackets. Who we think's going to win?
Well, between Nyoken and G5,
Nyoken's done the most practice, from what I
probably
hear.
Nyoken.
Nyoken probably the superior player right now, but G5 can beat any Terran on the planet at any moment. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's very close.
Yeah. And G5 beat me, so therefore I have to support him, because if
Right.
he goes a long way, it
It makes you
I'm
look better.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm rooting for Nyoken. Go Nyoken, Yahoo. Between Draco and Rhett, that I think will be really, really, really close because Draco is specifically preparing for some PVZs, I think. I'm trying to make eye contact with him, but he's not reciprocating, so can't get any tells.
And I think Rhett might have a little bit of a mental block against Draco. I think he's had some issues beating him in the past, so
Yeah.
we'll have to see how it goes.
Draco was a real monster in PVZ. He was stressful as hell
Yeah.
to play against. He
was
would
very good.
Fast.
Yeah, he played really fast because there's broadly speaking, there's units that are sort of fast and good at breaking positions, things like Zealots or Zerglings. There's the more muscular units that are sort of good for rounding out a composition, like Dragoons and Hydrals. They're sort of like okay against everything. And of course, your big power units like your High Templar, your positional units like your Lurkers and Reavers. And like a lot of Protoss players eventually get to a point where they're like, Dragoons are great. I want to get Dragoons. I want to just like do some stuff and get a nice army and then get some Templar and feel strong. But he would just build lots of Zealots and Archons and be attacking a lot earlier and a lot more aggressively. And Protosses would do that, but then they would back off and transition into Dragoons. But he would like expand again and keep making these efficient, fast units. And it made it just hard to play against him. And I mean, you saw the same sort of style in his PvPs where he's building Zealots and Dragoons and attacking, expanding, attacking, getting a few Reavers, but not going overly hard on the teching route. Just stressful.
I haven't seen that many PVZs of like Modern Brood War right now. I'm starting to kind of get back into it and watch it more, but at least last when we were all playing competitively, it was like just speed lots everywhere, very fast, early. Like I remember taking your third at destination, double hatching there and blocking it in, and you would just get the Sunkens in by the time speed lots were already coming in on you. And you were at Hydra Tech, but not like you didn't have a massive amount of Hydras. And we were talking about that IEF term earlier. That's where Bisu, I played Bisu. I've never seen Zealots like that. That was incredible. It wasn't even that he had 400 of them. It was like everyone that showed up was doing exactly what they're supposed to do at the worst time, and I got destroyed.
It feels like the Zerg is trying to kind of incrementally, expand, build their economy and tech, while the Protoss is going for like more of a smooth power curve of being like constantly aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so the best Protoss and what I think Draco will be able to do is have that smooth power curve of like, no, I'm not going to just sit back and wait for you to set up your defense. I'm going to have things in your face constantly.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of like the Bisu is known for his Corsair DT, but more recently he's known for Corsair Zealot, which is like you build the really fast units that are very good against Zerglings and very good against air, and then in this way you can just continuously pressure, and if you're ever in trouble you retreat.
Yeah.
But with this pressure you expand behind it, and that has nothing to do with the matchup we're about to see. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss. We got Nyoken up in the top left, Nyoken up in the top right. We have G5. It's going to be on Circuit Breaker, and Noni, what do you feel about this map from the Protoss perspective? Tactical pause.
That's important.
I do not know this map.
Oh,
I'm a dead end.
You know what? Here, I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm gonna show you the map. We're gonna look at it. Okay, so let me go out. All right, open the internet browser. Okay, let's go here. Circuit breaker.
I like how
Root.
Noken didn't realize there was no sound until he was in the game. Yeah. It's like
Something's
it's one of those
missing.
things you'd sort of pick up on earlier.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, I mean, sound is like so important. Just be able to hear everything that's happening in the game. Because things can happen pretty fast, where it's like, doo-doo, your forces are under attack, and you just like hear that doo-doo, and you just instantly hit the space bar.
He kind of looks like a evil Doogie Howser today. This is the Doogie Howser that like snuck in there and gave you the wrong diagnosis.
All right.
And did sleep with the women.
All right, so we're having Noni take out my iPhone. He's exploring the map.
You know, there's an old player we were reminiscing
yeah,
about
yeah.
that I forgot we should have mentioned. Jifeng, remember?
Oh yeah,
him?
Jean Fei.
He actually, like in a TSL, took second or like way up there
Yeah,
first.
Second place. He went
Yeah.
3-4 against someone. Did he win? Did he win?
Either won or took second in
Jean
like
Fei was
two
great
of them.
Protoss.
And he was a young Canadian Korean immigrant, right? Wasn't he? Chinese. That's what it was. Well, yeah, his name. Shoot. That one's right on the nose.
We got technical difficulties. They
This is
restarted.
our first technical difficulties. Interesting. Okay. Gosh, how do we fill time? What would Tasteless do in this situation? Probably pull out his phone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on my phone. It's great. I'm reading about Jean Fei. Did he win? Oh, he won TSL #1 in 2008, and then he got 4th in TSL 2 in 2010.
Who are we talking about?
Jifeng.
No, Jean Fei.
Oh.
And then he spelled his name backwards as his ID. IEF Nige.
He was
That's right,
really
because
good.
TSL, their term before that was TL Tour, I think. They had two of those. They were like the predecessor to TSL.
Something like that, yeah.
Or vice versa or something like that. I can't remember. But they had earlier ones. They were great. They were all really wonderful. And then they ran one in early StarCraft 2, and it was a lot of the same faces, and it was like very cool. They did all the artwork. Actually, for a while, my Facebook picture was my Redeemer Media picture that they drew up for that.
There it is. Technical difficulties have been resolved, and it looks like they just restarted new positions.
So I know this map now, thanks to Sean
Got it.
and his resourcefulness. And I would say this is a map where G5 might be able to thrive because he can take 3 bases without vultures being an absolute nuisance. Like, it looks like the 3 base setup for Protoss is one where you can defend vulture harass pretty easily. You can also defend drops pretty easily. So if G5 wants to go the build a Nexus, build a Nexus, build a Nexus PVT strat,
Yeah.
then this, I think, would be a map where he can do pretty well. And in these positions, he can like kind of crawl out to the top left and or to the, he's at the bottom right.
No, you're right. He's top
Yeah,
right.
He's top right. Okay. Yeah, and expand away from the Terran, and that would be good for him. So
They had a really funny moment yesterday because I asked Naoki, and I was like, Marines don't work in TVP, man. He's like, and he looks, he's answering my question, but he turns and looks at G5 and says, they do if you're a greedy Protoss. And they're thinking about that today.
Yeah, I mean, on this map, Terrans just have a really effective route to turtling, because in the same way that you can shut down Vulture Harass, those same angles are just find a wall off, build supply depot, chains, take your 3rd, you can get a 4th up, and so, if we're looking at super modern Terran versus Protoss, it's a lot of turtley Terran play versus a lot of fast Arbiter play from Protoss to try to just apply as much pressure as possible, and those wind up being some really cool games.
What you have to do as Protoss is make sure you get an observer into the base, see how many factories they have, and you just know if
Yeah.
they're going to just be sticking on 2 factories.
I can't
expanding,
believe
expanding.
no one has said that once this entire event. That's like the most important thing in PvT, is to get an observer and just count factories and when they're built.
And that style of play was popular when I was in the Courage tournament, and when I actually lost 2-1 in the
Oh,
final.
Big mistake there.
Yeah, that's really gonna hurt.
So if you click on the gas just before it finishes, they don't actually start mining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I lost, it was actually to the deciding game was in a game where the Terran turtled, and I had to identify that, he was turtling, and I was going to have to prepare for the big max out battle. And it kind of like, even though you have the run of the map and you can expand and do whatever you want, and the Terran's not going to bother you, you feel the pressure because that attack from the Terran is so powerful. And there really aren't any good, effective harass options, so you're just like frantically macroing, trying to build your own perfect counter army. And Arbiters really take a long time to tech to, so if you don't get that scout in, you don't recognize soon enough that you need to play for the ultra late game, then you will not have the army that's ready to deal with the Terran turtle.
Yeah, I mean, that can't be overstressed. That, like, you know, it's not like, oh, he is going for the turtle build. Let me build 2 of these things that now counter that. You know? You have to go, okay, let me completely rearrange the order I was going to do things in, get these expansions up, make sure they're defended properly, make sure I get my gateways produced in time, because if you build too many gateways too early, you don't quite have enough money to take extra expansions, and so you eventually lose in the long run. If you
go ahead.
Yeah, if you expand too much, then the push comes before you have any units. So I really feel like the pressure winds up being on the Protoss player to identify the timings.
But I like what Tyler said too. The word identify is really important because it's like there's also not a flag that you put up and say I'm turtling. There are offbeat timings that can come off of that, and there's like stages you have to identify after that as well.
Mike is just going to get a free Dragoon.
He's just trying to buy time. That's all you can do at this point. Because the Protoss himself is trying to set up his expansion. He's trying to slow down the mining where the Terran doesn't get as much of an economic advantage as you'd normally get.
Nice
So
supply depot placement to wall off that Dragoon. Oh, great body blocking right there. I think he will be able to kill the Marine, maybe, barely. Yeah. But not the best exchange for G5. You kind of want to keep that Dragoon alive.
Yeah. I don't like what G5's doing. I saw it in another game with the next expansion. Why would you take that base? Why?
Because it can't get attacked.
Oh,
you mean
it's
this base
stupid.
specifically?
Yeah, there's no minerals there.
No gas?
So many Protosses do this. I'd rather just take another main. There's so many more minerals there. It's got the high ground advantage. You can defend it nice and easy. Tons of room to build gateways.
Yeah, I agree. But I guess he made some pretty good choices because he's playing and you're sitting here, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God! It's not even a joke. It's just like, well, I shot Legionnaire in the knee.
Hey, Tyler started
Mayo.
Tyler sat down and plunged a spear into my chest, and I'm like, hey, Tyler, good to see you too.
Picking on all Aussies.
And you can pick on Aussies because they take it so well.
Yeah, I know what you did. I know what you did.
I know.
And he's like, and I'll steal your car later. Call me a convict. My grandpappy, rest his soul, in prison 24 years, would have had strong issue with that and murdered you too, probably.
Nick finds that so funny. Nick's laughing. Nick laughed so hard he fractured his other wrist. He's going to come out with 2 casts. He's going to be the esports penguin.
Oh, here we go.
Hurricane's got a trick up his sleeve.
He's going to keep a
Called it.
Nick egg on his 2 little feet and raise it with his Nick blubber on top of it.
Nick, I don't know what to tell you, but this is a laugh fracture. It's the first of its kind.
All right, so Nyokin is actually doing the I don't want to play a game build, which is he's going to build 4 barracks, he's going to build a whole bunch of Marines and medics, and do 1 big timing push, and everything rests on that. And if you're G5 and you spot this,
G5 also saw it come
Still
out
hard.
yesterday, and like
Yeah.
I said, Nyokin looked right at him and said this is what he does against Greedy Protoss. So I wonder, because G5 won a lot of games back in the day off of being very good, obviously, but also being very aware of who he's playing against. He got away with stuff against Artosis that he would not then try against somebody else. He played to the opponent. So I wonder, I mean, or he could just keel over and die to this, who knows, but...
yeah, I think you need to get to 5 gateways pretty quickly against this. And it's not Nyokin auto wins, it's that it's a very strong timing. But the way that you need to kill it as G5 is just to have super, super, super good Dragoon control and pick off Marines.
Yeah, you need to have 4 Dragoons right at the ramp, up just outside his base.
Yeah.
Because they'll just one-shot Marines and he just stutter steps backwards.
That observer needs to keep going
Yeah,
and check things out.
that's like the little observer that couldn't, man. Yeah, I mean, like, stopping at 4 gateways is like, it feels very nice if you're Protoss. It's like you're getting enough units, you can make a round of Zealots and get them into a shuttle. But you really kind of need 5 or 6 to be able to hold off this push, because this is just coming at a really brutal time. And now he knows. Beautiful timing by Nyokin. A lot of Terrans wait a little too long because they want to have a bigger surprise, but like any number of Marines is so horrifying with medics early on.
Protoss have spent so much time just building probes. They're just not ready at this point.
Well, we'll see. It's a good number of Dragoons to start, and you got to go across those ramps. Or ramp? No, it's ramps. The double.
The double bridge. Oh, there's the scan. That is a really essential scan because the way that you lose this as Terran is you get minerals picked off, you get tanks picked off.
Tanks are up in the front. He can pick off
This is
two
a
tanks.
nice angle for G5. This is really lovely. And he's going to get the second tank and he needs to back up.
Okay.
Very nicely controlled by G5.
Yeah.
I'm going to... Does anybody else think the commentators might have called this a little bit early?
I was telling
we
you he was
call
going to
it?
win.
You guys said this is a really nice time by Nyokin and G5.
It is?
Yeah, and then Pete follows it up with, "Yay, you're just making too many probes right now,
Well,
mate." You guys are pretty down on this.
I wasn't expecting him to donate 10.
You were like, you need 6 gateways. 4 is just not enough. I don't know how else. I mean, there's a lot of comments, guys.
The push is still going, Jeff.
Yeah. My point exactly.
You're looking at outpoints in the middle of the attack.
It's literally my point. Thank you.
The longer it goes, the better it's for G5s. So
Yeah.
if Nyokin couldn't completely cross the bridge, hey,
Sorry, what's that?
I was. It was these guys. I'm on your side.
Dude, it is a good timing. We literally saw it work yesterday.
I
What are you
like
talking about?
I like our toast position here. I agree.
If he's going for the slow siege mode there, I think he should have brought a couple SCVs just
God,
to bump her
I
up.
want Nyokin to win this so bad just so I can make eye contact directly with Jeff's soul.
Do you remember my comments on this game, Jeffrey? Do you remember they happened minutes ago, Jeffrey? I was talking about how good this position was
Shoot
for
it.
Nio.
Finish him. Finish him.
GG! Oh, don't get the other shot off. That was
He
nice.
should have shot like an hour ago, though.
So-
That was crazy.
Now go to Nyokin's main base. Look at this transition. Factories. Boom. There they are.
3rd CC. It's looking
Pow.
good.
Bam. Cup. Boom.
I mean, this all starts with Legionnaire's comment earlier, though, where he said, if he hadn't taken that base, imagine if it was the other main. Never would have lost the probes.
Well, G5 is... He's not dead right now, but... You know, he's getting zealots and he doesn't have speed, and obviously Marines are just amazing against that.
Yeah. Still making the Marines. Oh my god! The probes are like, nope, it's not safe. Like you guys were saying, by the way, it's looking really good for Nyokin.
Yeah. Boom, take that. 1-0.
So if the robotics was built closer to the ramp, the Reaver would have come out in time to stop this push and win
Did
the
he?
game.
So you can't
Building
attack.
placement is very
You
important.
can't attack move a Reaver, right? It gets weird. Or do you target it?
You can attack move a Reaver. It just
You can.
sometimes
But what
Yeah.
happened there? Because it shot way shallow.
It shoots and then it walks. So, all right, there's
Or
a
in this
counterattack
case, it
from
didn't
G5,
shoot and it
but,
walked.
I mean, Nyokin, does he not have mines? This will be very difficult to hold without a lot of losses, without mines, but it's fine to take a lot of losses, honestly.
Yeah. I think the Marines just keep on going to the natural and probably win the game.
Those SCVs are doing a good job.
The linebackers.
But if he has a Reaver pop out that sits on top of the ramp,
I mean, he'll
Does
hold
he?
the main, but he'll lose the natural, right? Which is
This goes down to one base versus one base. It's
Oh,
so
even
awesome. Ooh,
Nyokin
nice
found
scout,
it.
Nyokin.
nah.
Nyokin
Nyokin's
will
got
hold
it.
this man.
Nyokin's got it.
Yeah.
It's hard to win this as G5.
Yeah, it was a very good
Oh, I
timing
didn't
by him.
see that base. oh goodness! It's another expansion.
Yeah. I just think that right there is the issue. No Reaver popped out. Even if a Reaver did, if you split the Marines, you can, right?
Yeah, it's just hard. You just
Yeah.
need like lots and lots of Dragoons and continuous good engagements.
Valiant effort. Credit where credit's due. You guys had faith this was a good push. I didn't. You were right. I was wrong.
We'll need you to admit that about every 10 minutes for the rest of the day.
If I must. If I must.
We need that tattooed on your forehead before the end of the
Well,
show.
hang on now. That's a bit far. Forehead real estate for me runs really expensive.
Yeah, how
I got a lot of forehead up here. More every day, someone said.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm having. Yeah, it's like yeah, no, my hairline is kind of like how they describe glaciers. They're like, every year, millimeter by millimeter, it slowly pushes north.
Oh my god. Just hope like a... Oh, wait, never mind. G5 wins. Cool. All right, so that was a good game.
Yeah.
Look at that scan, man. It's top notch.
You didn't even hear them attack.
You
Just
just saw him.
snap scan. Nyokin is... I'm actually impressed at this transition from Nyokin. There's the GG. Yeah, that was a really nice transition from Nyokin to be going for the Medic Marine, but not to overcommit. Often we'll see 6 racks, just all-in style stuff, but he made the push and started to transition right when the push hit the front door of G5, so...
Well, I think Nyokin made a pretty big mistake, too. When he pushed across the bridges, he had the 2 tanks way up towards the front, and it was starting to look pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what the mistake was after that, though, so maybe it was just in the composition alone, G5 was already way, way behind.
I think the Dragoons were a little bit out of position.
Just slightly, yeah.
They weren't there to greet the Marines as they made another charge across the bridge.
Because the Marines just, like, walked down, and it was like...
Yeah.
Well, they stemmed down, right?
Yeah.
So... Did he have stem earlier?
Yeah, I think
he had stem.
And a lot of times you'll do that push with like just stem and range is close to done or done.
Yeah.
And he definitely had both when he did that second follow-up. And I mean, it's really strong because you have your Dragoons in a concave, and if you can exploit and come at the point side, then you just like chew through them one at a time. Then there's this limbo line of Dragoons just dying.
Yeah. Legionnaire said it earlier, too. You need enough Dragoons to be kiting and picking them off and whittling it down as it goes. He never did that. He had the 2 at the ramp, and he was like, oh, it's coming. And then he backed all the way up into his base and set up the concave.
He should have had the Dragoons that were at home should have come out.
Yeah. Met it, slowed it down.
In the middle, gotten a few things to pick off,
The second game's about to start. Hey, Artos, you wanna hop in on this? Artos says, get over here now. Because I need to use the restroom, Artosis.
And Tasis will introduce the players. Not today. If you guys get a chance by one stream, you need to look at Nick's shirt.
What's up, guys?
It's one of the best shirts I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's
I'm not even... That's actually for real.
Yeah, it's a sick shirt.
It's way up there.
So, how's everyone doing?
Really good.
Yeah?
I'm still salty. I lost.
Yeah? I know, I understand. It's a tough pill to swallow losing to G5,
Yeah.
I tell you.
And then they just they throw you here,
Yeah.
so
well,
everyone can watch you.
Hey,
see
we've
the
been-
I
we've
kept
been there
that
for
seat
2
warm
days.
for you, buddy.
Dan and I have been here 2 days, man.
Yeah.
You lost later, so there's that, you know.
Well, yeah. You guys aren't really good though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We try, though, you know.
Yeah. It's valiant
Do our
effort.
best. So, what map is this? I can't tell if this is Outsider or this is Fighting Spirit.
The second you said that. You would actually...
I think... were you here yet, Noni, when he said that?
No.
He's like, oh yeah, the middle of Outsider is just
Do
like
it
the middle
later,
of Fighting
though, because
Spirit.
you're like 2 more of those from getting Sean actually salty.
No, I know. I saw the look in the eyes. That's why I'm whispering it while he's in the bathroom.
You're going to get an email later of like how this is actually Outsider, just in Fighting Spirit form.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
everything's
thinking about our
pretty...
conversation earlier, Dan.
Yeah.
Is Nyokin going to do the same build?
Nah.
The fast
No.
command center?
G5 won't lose to it twice.
Even that last
Oh,
one.
no.
it got
He'll
scary.
do the command center,
Yeah,
probably.
with the bunker.
but
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He likes that right now a lot. Like,
Yeah.
especially against all of us who are kind of rusty, because it didn't exist back when we were playing. This expansion, really, like Protosses would punish you generally. But now people figured out the build order completely, and like he never loses to like early Dragoon pressure or anything with it.
Well, he should have lost versus Draco. Draco should have taken it down.
Yes, you
Pick
are
off
right
the
about that.
SCVs
I
and then
agree
pick
with
off
that.
the bunker. Yeah.
He screwed up. He actually missed a volley, and he would have killed that
A
bunker.
bunch. He also like mega respected the bunker. The Dragoons step forward, and 4 Marines don't like drop a Dragoon
No,
all
I know.
of a sudden.
As soon as he had 6 Dragoons there, he should have just killed all the SCVs and laughed.
But that's what's kind of fun about this tournament. Everyone's,
Yeah.
we're all fresh coming back to a game that we
Except
grew
for
up with.
Nyokin and Ren.
Those cheating bastards
I
played
know.
this for a week.
Those tryhards, man. It's so crazy.
December, says Nyokin.
Yeah.
Blizzard
And Reds
gave him
played
heads up,
700
didn't they?
games. What's that?
Blizzard gave him heads up.
Yeah, that's right. There'll be a tournament in August.
For no money.
Yes. We'll get you back on the map.
You must train.
And once Mondragon says no, you'll be invited. So,
I was thinking about
Here we
it.
are.
You guys had me on that,
Yeah.
reminiscing of the German scene. Remember Schnibbler?
oh yeah,
TOT.
Schnibbler was kind of a nice guy.
There was a bunch of good German players.
Yeah, there was quite a few good ones, but mostly they were just a country of DT droppers.
Wow.
I just remember every time we played Germany B, I got DT dropped to the point where I would just open with turrets.
You're shell-shocked, man.
Yeah.
Oh, gas stolen, by the way.
Yep. It's a
Like it.
tad annoying. We'll slow down his factory a little bit, but
Just
will
throws him
G5
off.
try to punish?
Yeah.
Long distance mining of gas. It's good to see.
Yeah.
You weren't lying, Legionnaire. Salt, man.
That happens. It's our pride is on the line. It's not about money. If it was about money, it would actually like hurt less in a
Well,
way. Because I'm like, yeah, these guys, they practice hard. They definitely deserve it.
If you think about it, Australia is surrounded by an ocean. It's surrounded by salt. Literally.
That's true. Yeah.
So, salt and you, maybe. Right?
I'm not salty at all, actually. I was
Yeah,
not
you're
expecting.
totally not salty.
You should be really happy with your play. You managed to take down the mighty Artosis. So I mean, that's definitely something.
Yeah.
I was just hoping to get a single win, really.
Yeah.
Same
That's
with-
all. Well, that's
yeah.
all I was looking for.
Yeah, and there you go.
Yeah.
I care about you, so
It was nice of you to throw the match for me,
Yeah.
to
Dan's a
build my
martyr
ego.
that way. It's
I
so
tried to
good.
make it look close, but I accidentally made it look not too close.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah,
Such a gentleman, though.
I know. I'm a good guy.
And now we begin this dance. Why not, though? You're going to make him repair it. Costs money.
Yeah.
Pull the SCVs. Cost more money.
Well, this is, he ran the Dragoon pass last time. No,
Not this time.
I don't like it, though. Well, it's just he knows there's 2 Marines in the main, so this bunker only has like 2 Marines, probably.
I think he should be attacking the SCVs, though, right? If
Yeah.
the bunkers, especially if it's half
Yeah.
full,
Yeah.
go for
Yeah.
the SCVs.
Step in and do volleys until they run.
A good tactic, once you get a good number of Dragoons, is to get 1 Zeal up. So the Zealot goes in, it takes all the fire, the Dragoons take down all the SCVs. You do that once or twice, they've lost quite a few SCVs, and then you can just go for the bunker, because I think they're going for the SCVs again, because they start pulling them back.
Yeah.
G5, though, man. He's just going to do it again.
Yeah, the 3 base, but he'll probably add the gates a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Like, he's very aware that this is something that can happen, so... But does he actually add the barracks? I think he will. I'd be surprised if he got the academy this quick and isn't going to do it.
You could also get an observer faster,
Yeah.
which.
So
Oh.
Well,
he
that'll
just-
scout too.
He's
That's a good
just
answer, though,
scanned,
right?
though. Yeah, yeah.
If you land the good Scarabs, it then becomes like 2 or 3 tanks and a couple of Marines.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for Terran to push across a map against a shuttle and a Reaver, and when it's small numbers of army. So
Oh, good point. You can delay even better with that, I guess.
yeah,
Okay, he's not going for that. He just went for the quick scan.
yeah.
I like, by the way, that he got the scan and scanned immediately. Because if I'm G5, I'm like, oh, it's very likely to be that bio play again.
Yeah.
And G5 is not taking his 3rd. This is, like, actually good stuff for Nyoken. G5 is,
very
like,
good.
playing counter to the strategy Nyoken used previously, and he's not doing it.
Playing the
He's
best of
mixing it up.
5.
Yeah.
Mind games, man. I think that's always been the place where foreigners have lacked, where Koreans are excellent at.
Yeah?
Even our best non-Koreans, I think their strengths were not in playing to the best of series, but just the talent they had and the skill they had.
Think so?
Which non-Korean that reached the top do you think played a best of series really well?
no, that's fair, I think.
If you name Idra, I'm just gonna slap.
Oh, no. Well, actually, that's the one counterexample to what you say, is that everyone knew how to play a best of series against Idra. You do something that he will hate in game 1 and beat him, and then he's done.
Yeah. I guess I should have specified. I was more talking about non-Koreans versus Koreans.
Oh.
Koreans are very good at this. Non-Koreans are not.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right. People. I mean, the funny thing too was when Greg finally ascended to his final form, even that didn't work anymore. He was starting to type GG and stuff like that. That's how
Yeah.
confident he was.
Yeah, that's how you knew you were screwed.
In my TSL match against him in game 1, that was my strat. So I went for a DT drop, and he actually went vulture drop in game 1 and beat me.
Yeah.
That's
But
that
is
was,
that the
that was
command
probably
center
his
cancel?
It was against you that was the command center cancel, though, right?
later
Yeah.
in the series. Yeah.
That's really
That was the
famous.
ultimate game, guys. That is a true highlight of Foreigner StarCraft. Go.
People
Google
remember
that.
it to this day.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
I rewatched that in the last
ref-
couple of years, actually.
Well,
that
it's a
game.
4-second game, so why not?
Yeah, he lasted about a skew. And
Less than a skew. The CC goes down way earlier than that.
yeah.
Don't know about you guys, but I think that's game over.
The shuttle.
Yep.
Yeah.
You went way
you
too
can-
deep.
Yeah.
You
You
think
can never
he's
lose
just
a
straight
shuttle at
dead?
the start. Yep.
Well, if you just sit there and lose all your dragoons, certainly. But
Well, in G5's defense, these Dragoons are really weird, but he gets hit by the first one. That should have been the turn back point, I think. You're right?
Yeah.
He goes in deeper and then more Dragoons
Yeah.
come out. I mean, I get it. He's like, well, okay, he has one. That's weird, but surely he won't have two. Then there is the second one. And you're like, oh, I'm dead. But G5, by the way, lives by the sword, dies by the sword. He's going to win off aggression and lose off aggression. That's how he plays.
yeah, he's one of these players that sometimes looks really fantastic, but sometimes looks.
Look,
Less
if you'd
fantastic.
done some damage with the Reaver,
Ooh.
This is a very good engagement. Oh, if he
Yeah.
had one more shot, it would have been huge. But
Yeah.
he's still trading well.
As well as he
He would
can.
have almost broken this if he had had one more Reaver shot.
Yeah.
Oh, that tank shot, though.
God, I hate tanks.
They're pretty good.
They're so overpowered.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, Blizzard, you should be
pretty
changing that
clear.
stuff.
the game would
Take a look at
be
tanks.
a lot better without some
Take a look
chinks
at
in
tanks.
Because then we could just watch ZVP all day, and that would be a lot of fun.
I love tanks. I love the TVT matchup in Brood War. I love.
Yeah.
I like TVP as well.
I like the almost dancing aspect in T vs P,
Yeah.
where it's Dragoons,
Move it over.
Zealots against
Yeah.
tanks, vultures.
What was the map? Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh,
Tanks
God.
on that map.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Whoa. Whoa. Every turn just laughably like went to 3 bases, walled in everything. I was like, all right, I'm going to get some tanks out. And I was over here like, okay.
If he rebuilds a shuttle, it can be really effective now.
Yeah. By the way, I liked the Dragoons that Nyokin. I mean, not the Dragoons, the Goliaths that Nyokin
Yeah,
made.
that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Like that was really good. We used to not see that really used even against Reaver play, but now that I see him doing it, I'm like, God, I wish I could regame Legionnaire. Because I'm sitting there trying to make turrets. I made a Wraith in one of the games, and just like you fly around everything, I'm like, oh no. God.
Now, it became quite common for Terrans to just go one Goliath, so
Yeah.
they could just try and target down the shuttle whenever it turns up.
Yeah, I like that.
Nyokin's playing well, though.
Oh, he
He's-
really
yeah.
is. He's on top of it.
He's been talking a lot about the big hype match, too. If both of these guys win, it'll be Nyokin versus Red. And they play a lot. They actually practice with each other
do.
to get ready for this.
I was actually talking to Rhett earlier on, and he was saying, Nyokin was saying he was going 40% against Rhett in practice. Rhett said that he won the last 10 games.
He's freaking... That needs to go, by the way. And this like second emergence of Foreigner Brood War. Speaking of Mondragon, the absolute worst offender in the history of competitive
For what?
gaming.
Saying that they
Mind
don't
drag.
Oh,
practice.
he'd
Mind
always
drag.
talk about how he's not practicing. He doesn't really
Oh, yeah.
care. And then someone who's a practice partner would be like, no, I think he's actually at unhealthy levels of practice right now. And we're like, so he's just putting it out there, like, guys, don't expect anything from me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his hand's hurting from how much practice he's been doing. It's like, what?
Yeah.
There you go.
Nyokin was doing really good mine killing there,
Yeah, he was.
because G5 was trying to drag the mines onto the tanks, but no avail.
Another thing Terrans have to do, kill their own mines.
Or they'll come at you
They're
and
that
kill you.
strong. Sometimes
I
you
know.
have to kill them yourself.
I tell you.
Jeez, that thing I put down there's dangerous even to me. That's like an Eversur assassin you just put out there, man.
I'll tell you one thing I was salty about. My game versus Boxer versus Imyohan. They didn't show any of the mine drags. They were my proudest moments in that game. I killed so much stuff with them.
Yeah.
Wasn't on the bot at all.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, a boxer was important for industry. If they're showing like this random Aussie guy destroying him on TV, that's
Winking
that's
at the
not good
camera.
for
Wasn't really destroying. It was like a 40-50 minute game. It was, yeah.
Well, my heart bleeds for you.
I don't really remember that game. But
I think you're lying.
That 40, 50-minute game where he was beating Boxer on Korean national television. They didn't show the mind drags. I'm like,
Poor guy. You poor little dude.
Legionnaire, how did you ever recover from it, man? How did you ever make it out?
First world issues, eh?
Seriously.
I get it, though. I hear you.
What map is this now? What are we on? Thanks, Nick.
What's that animal in the middle of the map?
Like, is this outside or is this?
I know. That's the inevitable collision that's coming later. I can't wait. Okay,
Yeah.
so in this best of 5, in the lower left-hand side, excuse me, it's G5 Meteor. And his opponent, on the top right-hand side, it's Nyoka Meteor. I already talked about it before on a WCS broadcast, but my favorite is the idea of that tradition ported to traditional sports.
Oh, yeah.
Second quarter, it's still your Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams. People would just be like, "You idiot, what?" And it's like, the map is, of course, the same stadium we were at. That's different, obviously.
Yeah.
But in this case, everything's outsider, so I guess it's kind of similar.
Don't worry, he's not standing right behind you. All right, he's talking. Oh, I love your dog, by the way, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Barristan is amazing. He is so friendly.
He sleeps like 16 hours a day, though, so
Yeah.
he's only awake because there's so many people here, but he's looking around like, stop being so many people so I can go to sleep. Like right now he's awkwardly pressing his butt against Noni's shins.
Yeah, he is.
He's like hunched under the table and he's like, yeah. It's funny.
Great dog.
I want to see G5 win this one. We're rooting for him.
Yeah, seriously.
Best of 5. Get us to game 4.
Well, dude, actually, it's Python. And Noni, what do you
Oh.
think about Python balance PvT?
Terran favor?
See, this is the problem.
What
This
do
is
you
what's
do-
so frustrating about being a foreigner in StarCraft.
What do
These
you do
foreigner
about-
Protosses are so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Thank you for saying Protosses. Us Zergs, we were fine, right?
Yeah.
We took our beatings.
Yeah, no, Zerg was pretty reasonable. But these foreign Protosses like Noni, like G5, all these guys, they're like, oh, this is a, even though the Terran can't take a third base, this is definitely a Terran map. It's like, no.
I got to agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a Terran map.
This is a Legionnaire map. Whenever you see an island.
Yeah.
I do like islands.
In what way would
Islands
this be?
are fun. That was the trouble. It's just that they
Yeah.
were so bad for Zerg that you couldn't. It made for really. There was a couple. They found a nice balance with. Gosh, what was the map? There was 4 corners, but it was basically you started on an island, but then the whole rest of the map was all.
Gorky?
No, not Gorky. It's the one Testy liked a lot, by the way.
Oh, Neo Forbidden Zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
Neo Forbidden
yeah.
Zone. I didn't mind that. You would, you'd slow drop down, double expand. I mean, Zerg still obviously did not have a good win percentage there, but it felt more okay.
That was a tough map, TVP.
There was a way you could jump a probe down to the low ground.
Oh my god.
It wasn't 100%. Like, you couldn't do it. I practiced it
Is
for
this
hours
you
trying to
saying that Australians aren't criminals, or is this you giving me evidence that they are? I don't understand. It's like, there was a way
I
you could
wasn't-
illegally get a probe down there, even earlier. So
not stealing anything.
when that
It's all
Zerg
good.
bloke showed up and you had 3 bases already and 4 shuttles full of Reavers, you were like, mate, it's not for you.
Oh, man.
Then you face another Protoss doing the same thing, and you're like, yeah, you cheeky bastard, aren't you? Use a different word, but not appropriate for broadcasting right now. I'll give you a hint. It starts with a C and ends with more of other letters. I don't know how far we can take
Crafty?
that.
Yeah, I know.
Crafty?
We got
It
to
is
slow that
crafty.
down.
Thank
Yeah,
you. It's
yeah.
crafty. You're right. I'll get a phone call. It's like, yep, you're off. Okay. Well, the good news is I'm an Uber ride away from home. It's not like in Poland where if you get fired, you're in a bit of a pickle.
We're keeping the dog though.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you.
So,
All right, we need G5 to win. So what? We tried the Reaver thing. Did he lose it when he went too deep with the shuttle? Is that solely what we look at?
If he doesn't lose the Reaver and the shuttle there, you're not pushing out with that. Like 2 Siege Tanks, 2 Vultures, 3 Marines, 3 Goliaths. You don't push with that. So I mean, it's not like he wins if he doesn't lose that, but he definitely does
The
not lose.
game gets more dynamic, I guess.
He was a little unlucky with that starting position for Neoken, because that's a pretty terrible attack path where you're already at the expansion, then you're running over all of the factories,
Right.
so he was unlucky there. He probably shouldn't have dropped the rebuff straight away.
I'm enjoying this Dragoon micro. It's not about what you're saying. I'm sorry.
He literally like he has range, and his Dragoons are dying to the bunker. It's like, look at this middle Dragoon. He can't do it. That Dragoon doesn't have range.
He can't risk it anymore.
No.
This is why Terran's
Bears.
overpowered.
Hey. Leave Day 9's food alone.
Oh, lunch is here.
Yeah, you don't eat burritos. If you did, your farts would never end. Barrison, my dog I'm talking to.
Yeah, I was about to ask for clarification.
I don't know
Oh, I thought you were
Sean's
talking to
farting
me.
pattern.
I'm like, yeah, no, you're right, dude. Oh my god. Wait till later.
Is he going to siege and target the middle one? Oh, where's the... I mean,
It's
that
a
one.
shell
yes.
game.
Yeah. Okay, so he's taking the quick third base this time, which I like. I didn't like how he approached it last time exactly, but does Nyoken do the barracks play?
Tough spots, by the way. 12 versus 6, full map in between them.
Yeah.
A little bit better for Protoss this time around, I would say, right?
So I think on this
Yeah,
map, G5 should not make too many probes on these 3 bases and should cut probes and then make a nice like Speed Zealot Dragoon army. Because either Nyoken's going to do a timing, and then that would be a great way to try to defend it, or Nyoken's going to try to take a third. But it's really hard for Terran to take a third on this map.
Yeah.
Although that does not mean that it's a Protoss. I just want to clarify. Clarify.
okay.
Yeah.
So then
It's good you knew it was coming, Tyler.
either way that kind of army will come in use, offensively or defensively.
How sick would another Team Liquid Star League be, a TSL?
Noni, would you come back play that?
Heck yeah, I would.
I don't know, man. This game's pretty hard.
Okay,
Have you
the game
played
is
this?
pretty hard, but you're
Oh my god, Tyler.
Noni, so like if you practiced for like 2 weeks, you would be top 32 foreigner. Come on, let's be real.
Everyone was very upset you weren't playing in this.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on them to run a TSL,
All right.
so we'll see.
Did you watch the broadcast yesterday, Tyler?
I watched parts of it.
Did you catch the part where I said you were one of the best foreigners ever and Dan argued against it?
What?
I did catch that
Yeah.
part.
What are you talking about?
I did catch that
when he
part.
was in his final form in his WCG, I said, I think he didn't drop a map, and you were like, yeah, he did, to me or whatever.
No, that never happened. What are you talking
Who
about?
was it then?
It was G5.
G5 said he took him out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I never
Yeah,
said that.
Dan was like lurking back there, though.
Dan
making some
shouted out
comment.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just saying because
He shouted
people
out
keep
Cloud.
bringing out the best foreigners, and I'm like, people forget about Cloud a lot, and he was absolutely a top foreigner. Like, during that era where Noni was, like, dominant and Hydra was sick, Cloud was, like, legit one of the best foreign players.
I don't remember his PVZ and PVT, but I know I considered him like basically an equal for PvP.
Yeah, you guys went to Game 7 in the finals of the tournament that brought you to Korea.
Right.
It was
yeah.
a really good series.
Yeah.
And his PVT, I felt, was ridiculously good, and he could beat all the top foreigners, so he was really good.
Whoever
Anyways,
won, speaking of tournaments, whoever won that Ascension tournament, by the way, Dan?
that was a 3-way tie.
For last place, we were all losers. I felt. Like.
Yeah, everyone lost that
Oh,
tournament.
you know what?
Especially the fans.
Yeah.
But
Not
you know
Dan,
what?
though. It got him to Korea, man.
God.
No, one of the names people were throwing out, and I thought it was really funny because they were like, these players are garbage. We should have had Dynot there. And, of course, he's a Chilean person, but Dynot was good, too.
Yeah,
back in
he
the
was
day.
quite a good
Remember?
Zerg. He was
Yeah.
up and
Here
coming.
comes the speed vultures. What do you do? It's Python. You're dead.
No.
Jesus. This is crazy.
Those hit harder.
He just ran right in. Look at this. All the probes are dead. Wait a minute. Noni, I am so sorry. Is this what you have to put up with?
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
why
God.
it's a Terran map.
Oh my God. This is wild. How do you ever stop that?
You can't stop
like
it.
that.
Oh, wait. You leave your Dragoons in front of your expansion. That's how you stop it.
How do you stop it?
Look at all
Like
that surface area.
Which
Oh my
expansion do you leave it in front of?
The natural.
Right. So
But then you lose the next
We
one.
put cannons at the third.
that hit like a black mamba, but then it went out like a koala bear.
Drop bear.
soft and...
Drop bear.
I know they're not real. Okay, I had that pulled on me already.
God.
Moonglade. Moonglade and I think Maynard sat down next to me and talked to me about drop bears. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I'll have to go wiki that. And they're like, yeah, man, you should. We're on a big broadcast. Every Aussie's in on it, too. You
every
mention drop bear
single
to them,
one.
they immediately know the game's afoot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, drop bears.
For those that don't
Oh, you
know,
heard about
drop
those.
bears are koala bears with like wolf-like teeth. They live up in the gum trees and they drop down and they capture unsuspecting tourists.
Capture. They keep him in a cage in the koala bear forest. Like, oh my god.
I actually, like, it was such a weird, surreal experience, though, because it's like, I went and asked some of my other Australian friends about it, and they immediately went in on the con. They're like, yeah, dude, totally. And it was only later that someone was like, Jeff, they're all joking. And I was like, man, what a weird national thing that they all go in on
I
that
know.
so quickly. And I feel so silly. Here's that third. Looks pretty easy to take to me. I don't know about you.
So any map where you have a mineral in the expansion, by the way, makes it Terran favored because what does a Protoss do with extra minerals? Build zealots. What does a Terran do? Vultures.
Oh my gosh.
What counters what? Wow. The vultures counter everything, by the way, but
so
especially
nostalgia
zealots.
must be a Terran map
It is.
against Zerg.
Yeah, well, everything is concerned. ZVZ on that map gets weird. We're like, I guess we're both making lings for a long time. A long time. G5 fighting for his tournament life.
Yeah. It's
If he loses
not
this, he goes
looking
back
very
to
good,
Kentucky.
man.
He builds a lot of observers. I like that.
He makes more observers than anyone.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy.
Oh.
Look at all these depots out here. I like this. I like it.
Yeah?
This is what happens if you have maps where you can build in the center, aka fair maps. You know, you can see
Favorite
these
maps,
cool
yeah.
dynamic terrains where there's like depots out in the middle and stuff. This is a real frontier. This is the flavor that StarCraft's supposed to be, not these maps where you can't build in the middle.
Yeah, well, they started to do that because of Terran players. They just, like, put up a million missile turrets in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow.
Yeah, I know. It's mean.
So Terran can't expand unless they build a supply depot in the middle of the map. Then they're fine.
That helps a lot.
This is
Okay.
gonna.
You remember when
I'm
Luna
learning
came
a lot.
out? You
I'm
kidding
learning
me?
a lot.
Yeah, no, I'll teach you all day.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
all those?
A lot of probes are dying this game for vultures.
Yeah.
So those Dragoons defending the expansions from Vulture. How are they doing now?
Is this all Dragoon? It is, isn't it?
It feels like it.
There's some zealots there.
Oh, my god.
Wow. There
Okay,
it
he's
is.
going to clear the mines and then run up. Let's go.
Nah, not against +1.
I hope
This
they're
isn't
on
gonna
move
work,
command.
guys.
They're on move command.
This
It's
is not
good.
gonna
Oh
work.
my god.
And the rockets
He got the zealots on. He's doing well. That's all he needs to do. Just pull
Yeah,
back to the right.
Yeah, go to the right, go to the right.
Look at the depots absorbing the damage.
I know they're awesome.
I think
Oh, he might get supply blocked. Oh, wait, no, he lost all his tanks to the Zealots that just ran up next to them.
none of the depots have been shot
I
down.
can't believe he's still attacking.
No, he shouldn't have done that.
No, he was
No.
actually going to be ahead if he had just pulled to the right immediately when you said.
Oh, but now.
Why didn't G5 just zoom out and realize that? Oh, GG.
Wow, that was a.
And there you
good.
have it. There you have it. Terran
Evil
Impa.
Doogie Howser.
Been sued for malpractice 3 times, this Doogie Howser. It's a very different type of series.
All right.
All right, where's
Our
Nyokin?
first finalist.
He can
I'll
have my
step out.
spot.
No. There's burritos. It's fine. I'll go ahead.
I think we all want some burrito-age right now. Nyokin, come join. And Nyokin, you make it to the finals.
You were playing Terran favored maps, though.
Terran favored maps.
Yeah.
Python is not Terran favored.
Thank you!
Circuit Breaker. Circuit Breaker. I think it's
Circuit
pretty
Breakers. Well, it's a big map, so it's like hard. You can't build depots in the middle. You know, we were talking about that.
It felt like you won that game because of the Vulture Harass,
Yeah.
and the Vulture Harass was so successful because of the terrain of the map.
On
So I'm
Python.
trying to process how that's not Terran favored.
Maybe.
Are you calling G5 bad?
No.
Okay.
He said he's only played 40 games and his macro is pretty good in the last game. I thought.
He is playing pretty well.
Yeah. When
You're just a little bit better right now.
Yeah. Right now I'm just a little bit better. When I scanned and I saw like 6 gates before Robo, and then I saw no gas at the third base. I knew it was an all-in, which is why I pulled all the SCVs, because I do not want to die to just pure gateway units.
Yeah.
I know how that feels. It's terrible.
I hate that, because
That's the worst.
At WCG USA 2010, I lost to G5 because my tanks weren't in siege mode, so I made sure to not lose to that.
That's good. So wait, now it's Draco versus Rhett. Who would you rather face? Like, why would he beat Draco?
I'm fine with either one. Me
Really?
and Rhett have played a lot,
Ooh,
so
confidence.
I know his style. He knows my style. It's pretty much 50-50. I've only played Draco, maybe like 3 times in my life, and he's the best Protoss foreigner of all time, maybe, except for Noni here. Except for Noni here.
And Legionnaire, who was winning on TV against Koreans.
Oh, and Legionnaire. My bad.
No,
My
it's
bad.
Okay. It's okay.
My bad.
Jeez. No one likes Aussies around here.
No,
I
Draco's
guess
really
not.
good. Really, really good.
Yeah, Draco's amazing.
Yeah, he's super strong.
I like how no one mentioned Gilm either.
Yeah, who's
Brewer.
probably the most
Gilm
accomplished.
Oh, no, yeah.
The
Well,
most accomplished.
certainly that. I mean, there's a lot of good foreigner Protosses over the years.
It's because it's the easy race to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
See?
all suck,
Thank you.
so, yeah.
And most of the maps are Protoss maps, so it's like... oh, man.
Most of
Having
the
fun
smart players play Protoss. I think that's kind of what was going on.
Were you planning to go
He can't
Rax
figure it out because
against
he's not a
Protoss?
Protoss player.
Because I'm stupid, clearly. I was stupid to choose Terran over Protoss, but yeah.
Children, settle. Settle. Let's
Well-
talk about StarCraft.
Yes.
I thought that's what we were doing the whole time.
No, you were just fighting.
About StarCraft.
Were you planning on going Rax?
Yesterday when I used it, I was going to make it a one-time thing, but then I thought, well, maybe they'll think that I won't use it again. And then I scouted double expansion. I was like, I think this can work versus G5, but he built a lot of gateways. I think he cut units to get more gateways, and that threw me off because he had more goons than normal people have. And then I got lucky that I eventually broke through with the Marines and Medics. Marines and Medics have crazy DPS versus goons and zealots.
Yeah.
So it's a good push. It's just if the opponent goes DT, it just shuts it down because you run out of comps out eventually.
What was your strategy behind sending 2 unprotected tanks across the bridge first?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake.
Dude, those bridges, it's hard to get those tanks across where you want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed that they just directly crossed the bridge with no
No
fiddling
support,
around,
no
no
nothing.
turning around.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a pro player right here.
I actually thought I was dead when that happened. When they both got picked off, I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
what am I going to do now?
You should have seen Jeff gloat because he's like, this build's bad. And then,
No,
you still won.
It's really strong because it comes before the observer hits, and if they don't see it coming, you can kill them. But if they see it coming, another variation that Flash used a long time ago is he builds turrets around his base. He gets like 7 tanks and 5 barracks, and then he attacks. That's strong also, but I feel like they're going to know that it's coming by then, or some kind of all-in is coming, whereas this one, they can't scout you, so they don't know it's coming.
It's good stuff. Well, they're telling me I got to go to a break here, guys. But we're going to be right back, I think, with the next match. Yeah? Right back? Tasteless? Yeah? Are we going to be right back? Yeah? No? Yeah? What?
413.
4:13. I think we should make our own number. We're going to go with a 4-minute and 22-second break, guys, and then we will be right back with Rhett versus Draco.
Should be a good match.
Yep.